The Yankees and the Red Sox, a renewal of the greatest rivalry in sports. And the big guys are out. Mark Teixeira had a great road trip. David Ortiz been unstoppable since May 1st. Nick Swisher started to turn around on the West Coast, and Adrian Gonzalez is trying to win an MVP in his first season with the Red Sox. Robinson Cano, that sweet swing, will be part of this three-game set. A set that's going to be a battle for first place. Those are the standings in the American League East. The Yankees a game ahead of the Red Sox, and this the beginning of a three-game series. Tonight, as My Nine presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Boston Red Sox. The first of three from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Paul O'Neill and Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. 3 games between the Yankees and the Red Sox. It doesn't get much better than that. It feels like summer. It's a big series. And Mark Teixeira is starting to heat up as well. The home runs flying off his bat, Paul.
Well, he had a great road trip. He had a great May also where he hit 10 home runs. And Mark Teixeira is well on his way to hitting another 30 home run season for the Yankees. It'd be his third consecutive time here. He ended up the road trip on Sunday with a dual 2-home run game, so he's ready to start a big series with the Boston Red Sox.
You know, he's been hot of late. If you go back 16 games, the numbers jump out at you. The average not where he wants it to be, but 9 home runs, 19 ribbies, a slugging percentage of .677, and his 18 home runs this season, second in the major leagues behind the Blue Jays' Jose Bautista. Let's take a look at tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. To get dunked, go to www.getdunked.com. Starting for the Yankees, Freddie Garcia, 4-4 with a 3.34 ERA. John Lester, the left-hander, 7-2 with an ERA out that's a little bit high for him, 3.94.
It is, Michael. Still a front-end starter for any club, and I'll tell you, John Lester's tough, especially on left-handers, likes his cutter. This was a start on May 15th. He ended up giving up a couple home runs here, settled down. The Granny Man got him as well. 4 runs in the first 2 innings. He did settle down, an eventual Red Sox win. He's got a fastball that'll clock at about 93. He loves his cutter. He's got a good changeups, not afraid to attack the hitters. Be a tough matchup for the Yankee hitters tonight.
And you know what's going to be a tough matchup for the Red Sox hitters, because the Yankee rotation has been absolutely on fire, putting up unbelievable outings. We'll break it down on segment 2 next, right here on My Nine. A couple of moments away. Check out what the Yankee starters did on their 9-game road trip. As a team, they were 6-3. The starters' record 6-1, 2.72 ERA, 21 walks, 37 strikeouts. The opponents hit just .232 against them, and they pretty much kept the ball in the yard, just allowing 4 home runs. Welcome back to Yankee baseball, everybody. That's Al Leiter. I'm Michael Kay. Paul O'Neill will rejoin us at the start of the game. Al, if you look at the way the Yankees were predicted to be this year, they were going to hit and their pitching would survive. It's almost been like the flip-flop of that.
Pretty much. I mean, you look at some of the inconsistency with the offense, and that'll be there, I believe. But I think about the guy tonight. I mean, you have between Colon and Freddie Garcia, free agent minor league signs, what they have done, not only a good story for the Yankees, but also baseball. To think about what Bartolo Colon has been able to do and as consistent, I think we're at a point now with Colon is that you say, hey, this is legitimate. Everyone's talking about when the wheels will fall off. I don't believe so. Yes, he's older. His stuff is great. CC has led the way. I mean, we could go even further. We're just seeing those statistics over the last 18 games. They're 11-3. The starting rotation under 3 ERA. I mean, it's been very good. A.J. Burnett, right down along the line. This is the reason why the Yankees are doing what they're doing.
You could see Leiter's fired up. I'm fired up. It should be good, and I'm sure that O'Neill is fired up as well. The Yankees and the Red Sox back and forth, the greatest rivalry in sports. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball on My 9. My 9 is brought to you in part by New Era. Fly your own flag. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. And by Chase, deposit checks from your smartphone with quick deposit. Take a step forward and chase what matters. It's a hot, steamy early evening here in New York City as the crowd filing into Yankee Stadium. Yankees against the Red Sox. Freddie Garcia takes his warm-ups, and we'll take a look at the Red Sox starting lineup, which is brought to you by Blimpie, America's Sub Shop. Jacoby Ellsbury with 22 stolen bases. He leads off by center field. Dustin Pedroia, the second baseman, will bat second. Batting third, playing first base, Adrian Gonzalez. Kevin Youkilis, the third baseman, cleans up. The number 5 hitter, the DH, David Ortiz. Carl Crawford, left field, sixth. Batting seventh and catching, Jared Saltalamacchia. J.D. Drew having a really tough season. He's in right field. He'll bat eighth. Batting ninth, just off the DL, the shortstop, Marco Scutaro. Sun is setting here in the Bronx, and Freddie Garcia about to begin the first game of this 3-game set.
Freddie Garcia coming off a nice start against Oakland in Oakland. 10-3 win by the Yankees, 7 innings, 3 runs. You see his numbers, very respectable, Michael K.
Now let's take a look at the New York Yankees pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealers.
Thank you, Michael. Master of changing speed, split finger, slider, fastball, doesn't overpower hitters, but boy, does he frustrate them. First inning goose eggs. How about this? Hasn't allowed a first inning run in 9 starts. And tough with runners on. I'll tell you what, runners on, 200 batting average. With runners in scoring position, 148 with 2 outs, 167. That's a tough pitcher. He knows when to bear down.
And he's ready. You can see how hot it is this evening. His face is already bathed in perspiration. We're ready to roll here at Yankee Stadium. Red Sox come in at 33-26. The Yankees are 33-24, so they are a game ahead of the Red Sox in the AL East. Jacoby Ellsbury digs in. Garcia's ready. Let's do it in the Bronx. The first pitch is upstairs, and we are underway.
Your pitching coaches ever tell you you cannot use all your energy in the first inning? Well, I just got through that scouting report. I'm tired for you. I mean, you just came in, bam.
The 1-0. There's a strike. Well, you're going to have to match that energy there.
I feel like I'm in between two, like, electrical fields here. I better stand up and get ready.
That's the way it went there, Paulie. What can I tell you?
4-game hitting streak for Ellsbury as he takes a pitch outside. You want to keep him off the bases. He has 22 stolen bases. This is going to be a very interesting booth with these two.
Well, clearly he hasn't eaten yet, so that's his deal.
Well, what's your deal? Why don't you lift your deal up?
Perhaps that might be a little bit. Too much homework.
Swing and a miss off speed. The count 2-2.
There's that split finger.
And this is his best pitch. When he gets ahead of hitters, I mean, and the thing about Garcia's split fingers, as a hitter, you can't track it one way or another. Sometimes it goes sideways, sometimes it drops.
And the 2-2. Deep drive, right field, going back, Swisher, turning, looking, see ya. Red Sox on the board, 1-0.
Funny, we just talked about that split finger. That split finger went down. When we look at it, it might even been a curveball, and that is a dangerous pitch to a left-handed hitter in the new Yankee Stadium.
You know what, Paul? I think that was actually a little slider, and especially here, you know better than anybody. A little pitch going down and in. I don't care. Ellsbury's not. Oh, it is. Split finger ended up cutting. That's a nice shot right there. Watch this cut.
Yeah, that just sinks right in that zone. That's that happy zone. I don't know why all lefty hitters can hit that ball down and in.
So much for that scout report, Michael.
First inning run that Garcia has given up this year. And here's Dustin Pedroia, 244 hitter. He has 13 stolen bases, 6 hits in his last 23 at bats, but this is a former MVP, and to see his average at 244, a little startling. Was injured last year, says he's healthy now.
Gamer all the way around. You mentioned it, MVP, but he has not gotten going consistently enough. And this offense, as good as Agon has been and Ortiz in the middle of that lineup, they really have thrived when the top two guys have been more consistent. I know Crawford's down in the lineup.
These are the last 3 seasons for Pedroia. Yes, last year 75 games because of the injuries, 288 average, but the MVP season in 2008, 326. He scored 118 runs. Count 3-1. Tonight's closed captioning is brought to you by your local Lexus dealer. So any electricity the crowd was feeling kind of unplugged with the home run by Ellsbury. A little quiet right now in the Bronx, the 3-1. And now Pedroia walks. So an inauspicious beginning for Garcia.
Well, for a guy who has not given up a run and really has been good out of the chute. You know, it's a little warm. You got to settle in quickly. Now here's a guy, Freddie Garcia, older, doesn't have the same velocity. There's one thing you have to do as a pitcher when your velocity's down is keep the ball down the zone, fastball.
Here's Adrian Gonzalez. You see his numbers. He's certainly in the discussion along with Jose Bautista and a guy like Curtis Granderson, American League MVP. Gonzalez, everything that the Red Sox had hoped for when they made the trade with the Padres. And the one thing that they talked about was how he was a perfect hitter for Fenway Park, and that's certainly been the case. Tonight's league leaders brought to you by New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. 50 RBIs for Adrian Gonzalez. That leads the major leagues, just ahead of Prince Fielder.
No, and I don't. You talk about lottery. Well, I mean, they've hit the lottery here because I don't care how good a player you are. When you bring a guy over from the National League, there is somewhat of a question mark if there's going to be an adjustment period of learning new pitching. He's just a natural hitter. I mean, he looks comfortable up there. It doesn't matter who's on the mound, lefty, righty. You see, nothing's in a hurry as he watches that pitch. But he's just a great hitter. The Boston Red Sox got to be ecstatic that they brought him over here and he got off to this good of a start.
I think what makes him unique is, and you were a bit this way too, Paul, as a left-hander, when you try to find a weak spot, usually it's in on the hands, which it is for Gonzalez, but that ball away, he doesn't just hit base hits to left field. I mean, he drives the ball.
That one driven to right center field. Giving chase is Granderson on the run. He's going to have to play it off the wall. It caroms past him. Pedroia will score easily. Gonzalez is going for 3. The throw is... Backing up is Garcia, so he is there with a triple and an RBI. It's 2-0 Red Sox.
We talked about how good a hitter he is. You see this ball kind of just, I mean, really it's not a bad pitch. Downward movement, but you see Gonzalez is in no hurry. Knows Garcia can't throw the ball by him. Bad carom out there for Granderson. And if you watch at the end of the play, Gonzalez did a real good thing. They had a chance at him at third base, but he kind of picked up the vision of Alex, slid right in through the ball. Alex had no way of catching it.
Good thing Freddie Garcia backing that ball up. It looked like it would have caromed off the net there, but that's what pitchers do. For as much as you're frustrated, you just gave up a triple. Alex got blocked out by the runner.
You see how tall he stays sliding there, and as a runner, if you know it's going to be close, you kind of read the eyes of the third baseman, and you don't slide to get down. You kind of slide, stay tall, so you get in the path of the baseball. You see right there, he sees it. He kind of stays tall on the backside, trying to make the ball hit you in the back.
That one's driven deep to left field. Going back, Andrew Jones, and he'll make the play on the warning track. Tagging is Gonzalez. He will score a sac fly for Youkilis, and the Red Sox lead 3-0.
I'll tell you, that's where Kevin Youkilis is very appreciative to Gonzalez to hustle that triple out. You know, you have a good at bat, you just miss hitting the ball out of the ballpark, but you end up getting a sacrifice fly. Tough start for Freddie Garcia. See the sweat there, and I don't know about you, Al, and I know it's habit. Pitchers, you wear your uniform a certain way, but you know, on a night like this, to go out in long sleeves, to me, it takes a lot out of you.
Here's David Ortiz. Many people wrote off Ortiz a couple of years ago as being done, but since May 1st of this year, you see his overall numbers. Since May 1st, he's hitting .375 with 11 home runs, just putting together a great season, final year of his contract. Count 1-1. Ortiz's 6-game hitting streak. He has 12 hits in his last 21 at-bats.
Well, you mentioned it, Michael. Last year, 32 home runs, 102 RBIs. People thought he was done.
Slow ground ball to first. It's a fair ball. Teixeira will touch up for the second out. These are some numbers on the Red Sox since May 1st. Now, this is before Gonzalez's triple, 357, 11, and 35. Ortiz, 365. I thought it was 375, 11 homers, 19 ribbies. And Carl Crawford, who got off to such a terrible start, he's picked it up, 318, 4 homers, and 23 runs batted in. There's a strike. The 0-1. Pitch is high. Strange to see Crawford at the bottom of the order. He's been way down in the order after getting off to such a bad start. They had him lead off. They had him bat third, but here he is as the number 6 hitter. That one's grounded deep to first. Going to be a race to first base, and Garcia wins it, beating Crawford there, and that will do it. But the Red Sox scored 3 runs on 2 hits, nobody left. Red Sox 3, Yankees coming to bat. Let's see what the Yankees starting lineup looks like. Brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wachovia now Wells Fargo in the tri-state area. The captain, the DH, Derek Jeter, leads off. Batting second, playing center field, Curtis Granderson. Mark Teixeira is at first. Alex Rodriguez is at third. Robinson Cano, the second baseman, bats fifth. Batting sixth, the slumping catcher, Russell Martin. Nick Swisher picked it up on the West Coast. He'll be in right field. Andrew Jones at left. And Eduardo Nunez is the shortstop. He's going to bat ninth. Let's take a look at the numbers. John Lester, left-hander, 7-2, with an ERA is a little bit high for him at 3.94, less than a hit per inning and about a strikeout per inning. Opponents at 251 against him. And let's take a look at the Boston Red Sox pitcher scouting report, brought to you by Chase Deposit checks from your smartphone with Quick Deposit. Take a step forward and chase what matters.
There's no question about it. Top left-hander in the game last year, 19-9 All-Star. He was 4th in Cy Young. Tough on the Yanks, 7-1. ERA 3.49 in 13 starts. An improved cutter. He's really kind of fallen in love with a little bit. His last start against the White Sox, he threw 127 pitches. 43 of them are cutters. Good fastball, curve. As I mentioned, the cutter and change. Quality Major League pitcher.
Here's Derek Jeter. He's 14 hits away from 3,000. Hitting 366 this year with leading off the first inning. And there's a strike. Derek has 282 hits lifetime against the Red Sox. And that's third all-time. He has 303 against Baltimore, 285 against Toronto. Hitting 260 overall. 10 hits and 35 at-bats on the trip. And that one's fouled back. Now, there's no clock in baseball, but Derek is going to feel the stressful nature of time because he'd like to get those hits here in this 10-game homestand. Yankees go on the road for 3 against the Cubs and then 3 in Cincinnati against the Reds. So if he doesn't get the 14 here and comes close, then in all likelihood he'll pick up that milestone hit on the road. He wants to do it in the Bronx. Count 1-2. Kind of getting a half day off today as the DH. Wanted to get as many righties in the lineup against Lester. Eduardo Nunez is the shortstop. The 1-2. Dribbled slowly to third, charging is Youkilis. And he gets Jeter for the first out. New York Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota offers fuel efficiency you'll love, only better.
Yeah, that's kind of an odd number for Derek. It's doable. It'll be close. Potential go on the road.
It's our job here the next 9 days. Let's go. 14 hits. It's just a feeling of it.
Right. That's.
We're all rooting for it, right?
Absolutely.
Want to see it.
We'll see it here.
Pitch to Granderson outside. Count 1-1.
There's the pitches I look at. Why he would be tough as a lefty is, you know, he has that good cutter. You know, he's got the slider, the curveball. He throws hard, but he is also able to throw that little runner back in, kind of a two-seam fastball on the inside part of the plate, which makes it very difficult for a left-handed hitter to get out there and hit that cutter.
Nice pitch right there.
Big curveball. There's no doubt. We talked about it the Open with Lester's ERA close to 4. He is as good as anybody. Stuff-wise, left side, challenges hitters.
Way outside.
So because of that, Paul, you're looking outer half here, fight too?
I have to
up the
look
middle.
outer half. I couldn't handle that pitch from you. I couldn't handle that pitch from Lester. Thank goodness a lot of lefties don't like to throw that ball into lefties. Because, you know, if you're throwing it in, I'm going to have trouble. But sooner or later, against a left-handed pitcher, chances are you're going to see a ball out of the plate.
Lester's won his last 4 starts against the Yankees. No Red Sox pitchers won 5 straight since Reggie Cleveland did it from 75 to 77. And Granderson works a walk.
There's that front door cutter. Mentioned about the amount of cutters he threw in his previous start. You get a pitch, and he has used it much more. Slider, evolve it into a cutter. This is a front door, or throw it at the front hip of Granderson. You watch where the glove is set up. He's supposed to be a give-up pitch. As the Lester there, he's hoping that this is a locked-up pitch that Granderson can't pull the trigger. Dangerous pitch, because you end up, if you miss, it's inner half, maybe even down and in.
There's Mark Teixeira. Mark with 9 home runs in his last 16 games. Second in the big leagues with 18 homers. Jose Bautista has more. Mark said the average not where he wants it to be. He said, but as long as my on-base percentage is over the mid-threes, he says, and I'm driving in runs, I feel like I'm doing my job. Foul back. Bautista with 20. Teixeira 18. His teammate Granderson 17. Jay Bruce of the Reds also 17. And Matt Kemp of the Dodgers 16. Now Teixeira didn't hit his 18th home run until July 17th of last year, so well ahead of that pace. Last year he got off to such a dreadful start, not this season. Oh, you can hear him say ow up here. He is in a lot of pain. It looked like it got him on the knee.
Yeah, that's a kneecap. You hope it's a thigh or a muscle, but the kneecap, that bone, you could tell by the sound that hit a bone, and that is painful.
He is in a lot of pain. Gene Monahan right there.
It's a pitch as a hitter you really can't get out of the way of, because all your weight is on your back foot as you're striding into the baseball, and it just, you know, you get caught where you can't get out of the way quick enough, right off the kneecap.
Again, this is a cutter, and what Paul is saying, this is a pitch once the foot's down, committed. Gosh, it looks like it got right on.
You can't put any weight on it right now. I mean, we're a ways away from home plate, and when he got hit, we could hear the sound up here, and we could also hear him go, ow. He was in a lot of pain. And now Tony Pena and Joe Girardi will help walk him off. He has been so good of late, providing the Yankees a real power boost from the 3-hole. They can ill afford to lose him, and as soon as we get any information, we'll get it to you. But he is obviously in a lot of pain.
It's going straight to an ice pack, and it's just, you're going to try to freeze that thing to try to keep all the swelling out of it. But that's going to be sore. That's not something that's going to go away overnight. That's going to be sore for a while.
Jorge Posada is going to come in and run for Teixeira, and he'll take over at first base for Mark as well.
Number 20.
Many people forget, because Jorge's certainly not fleet of foot, but in 1995 in the playoffs against the Mariners, he actually pitch ran. He used to be faster. He came up as a second baseman, and all the years of wear and tear catching certainly robbed him. Yeah. So here's Alex Rodriguez. He steps in as the tying run. A lot of action here in this first inning. Red Sox put a 3 spot on the board. Now the Yankees have runners on first and second with 1 out. Pitch outside. Rodriguez 10 for 35 on the Yankee West Coast swing. 3 cities, 11 days, 9 games. And the Yankees, after losing the first 2 games, come back 6-3, which was an outstanding West Coast swing. Grounded to short. Let's see if they turn 2. There's 1 on the first. Not in time. Granderson will move to third.
Not hit hard enough for Marco Scutaro, trying to get the quick flip. Alex not the fastest, but quick enough for beat Pedroia's throw by that much. Keep the inning alive. That little slow grounder there, a little quick toss. Back step from Pedroia probably cost him a double play.
Here's Cano. hitting Teixeira. That's the 9th batter that Lester has hit this year, and that leads the major leagues. Is that a product of the cutter out?
I think so. That pitch, you can't get it. It's like a laser, Michael. It'll just keep darting in on the right-hander.
Pitch is low to Cano.
Wow, you used to know this. I mean, when you bust guys in with that cutter, I mean, hitters start giving, and you'll see that this front hip is just bailing out, gone, because he's looking for that ball to cut in. You roll over it, you get your double play ball, and go ahead and hit hard enough, as you said.
Cano 10 hits in 37 at-bats on the Yankee road trip. 8 for 34 lifetime against Lester, which is .235. Now, Robbie not having a terrible season by any stretch, but .277 doesn't seem right for somebody who's such a good hitter. And that's what he's hitting so far this year. 12 homers and 38 runs batted in.
Well, it just shows you, what you end up expecting from such a great talent, Cano, when you got a guy that can bat in the 320s, 330s.
I mean, if you think about it as a hitter standpoint, just watching him hit, I mean, an average year for him is a 300. I mean, if he has a great year, he's going to hit 340. I mean, that's the type of hitter he is. I think he got some, he got into hitting some home runs early. All of a sudden, you start swaying out on that front foot a little bit, and you start looking at that pitch out of the zone up, especially.
A year ago, 226 at-bats. He's at 363. Same home runs, but look at the dip in batting average. That's 86 points. If I did my math correctly. The 2-1. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. On the count 2-2. Home plate umpire Jerry Lane did not even check. And I know that really chaps Paul O'Neill.
Now you see here, I mean, you see everything is collapsing out front here, and that's where Robbie gets in a little problem, and that's where he starts. As a hitter, you have to make up your mind so quick because your head is coming forward with your leg, and you end up swinging at bad pitches. When Robbie swings at good strikes, he's very hard to get out.
So what do you do? I'm sure you've been there. You drift. What are there certain things in the game that you just say, I'm going to do X?
Yeah, you try to. I mean, obviously you want to try to stand a little taller, stay taller as you stride, and try to, post up on that front foot a little bit. But it's just so hard to say that, and then all of a sudden, if you're in a habit of doing it as the pitch has gone on its way, you're right back to where you were. The big thing is the weight on the ball, and when you feel like you're getting beat, to tell yourself to wait, your mind won't listen to what your body wants to do.
Actually hitting better against lefties this year, average-wise, 314. And in more than double the at-bats against righties, 260. So something's just not right. Again, not having a bad year, but not having a Cano year.
Last year, Michael, 57 walks, and it's easy. When he's hitting, you say, oh, well, he likes the first pitch. He doesn't see a whole lot of pitches. He doesn't walk. This year, 9 walks, which is walks are down, 228 at-bats coming into this at-bat here. So that, look, I just purely as a pitcher looking at a scouting report, obviously it's something difficult for Robinson. He's a guy that likes to swing, doesn't want to get deep into counts, doesn't like to walk. But when you see that, I would look at it as a pitcher and say, okay, 57 walks last year, legitimate for a guy who likes to swing, and he's only got 9 on pace for less than 30. If you get ahead, expand. There's Kurt Young, the pitching coach for the Red Sox.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Yankees down 3-0, just underway, bottom of the first inning at the stadium. Well, that's going to release Alex at first. 3-2 and 2 outs.
Now, this is a respect that you still have for Robinson Cano, knowing the danger that he can possess. Even though it's early in the game, you have a 3-spot your offense gets you for John Lester. And see if he attacks the zone with a fastball or chooses to throw another breaking ball. I always thought if you throw it 3-2 to get the 3-2 on a curveball, why not throw it 3-2?
Freddie Garcia trying to shake off the top of the first inning, where he gave up 3 runs on 2 hits. And hoping the Yankees get some runs back. Alex will go from first. He does. And that one is lined into center field. Coming on Ellsbury. He's going to have to play it on high. Granderson scores. A-Rod moves to third. It's an RBI single for Cano. And it's 3-1 Red Sox.
Robbie Cano, when you see the same pitch over and over again, another breaking ball up in the zone, though. This is a ball with 2 strikes a lefty can handle. Does a good job of staying with it. Doesn't try to pull it. Drives it right up the middle.
It's a hanging breaking ball. It didn't hit it hard, but I was thinking along the same line. And Robinson out in front a little bit, but because that ball is up, nice level swing, able to get enough of it out center field.
See that post up on the front foot. He's a little behind that ball, waiting a little bit longer with 2 strikes. But Al, you know as well as I do as a pitcher, the last thing you want to do with that breaking ball is leave it up out over the plate for a left-handed hitter.
Russell Martin fouls off the first pitch. Russell has struggled on the road trip, 1 for 22. So a lot of his great start is starting to be whittled away on the average. 236 now. He's been catching a lot. Joe gave him Sunday off, which in effect was 2 days off because yesterday an off day for the Yanks. The 0-1. 1-1. Well, if anything, they're certainly building up Lester's pitch count at 25. And Lester has struggled lately. Over his last 5 starts, his ERA is 6.52. That's why he came in with an overall 3.94 ERA. One and 2. Last outing wasn't too good against the White Sox. In fact, the Red Sox didn't do too well against the White Sox. They were swept. 5 2/3, 8 hits, 7 runs.
127 pitches in 5.2 innings.
That's one of my starts.
That's a lot of work right there.
The 1-2, and he hits Russell Martin on that cutter. Second hit batter, 10th of the year for Lester, and the bases are loaded. And Terry Francona said today, Lester has struggled, and Al brought this up earlier, because he's fallen in love with his cutter, and he's just not commanding his other pitches.
Well, it's almost a broken record here with Russell Martin. Thankfully for the Yankees and Russell, it didn't get it. Looked a little higher than a kneecap there, Paul. Got him on the quad. This is that little laser pitch. It's hard. It's an upper 80s, low 90s sometimes, and it just keeps darting inside. Once a hitter commits, can't get out of the way.
Well, let me ask you this, though. Mariano throws a cutter. How come he doesn't hit you?
Because it's a different cutter. This is more of a slider that sweeps,
right? That
doesn't have a dot, that looks like a fastball but is a bigger break. Mariano throws a fastball that the last 8 to 10 feet, it moves about 4 or 5 inches.
Here's Nick Swisher, 8 for 29 on the road trip. Pitches outside. Now you wonder, because he's hit 2 batters, does that take him off his cutter now?
You know what? It's Nick. I mean, we've seen him get hit in the knee the same way. This is a situation where, and you mentioned it, or before the game, Terry Francona said he's fallen in love with it. When you have a pitch that you feel good about, but right now the release point on it is not putting him in position to make it a good pitch on the inside part of the plate. And there are two little two-seamers. You mentioned about Paul, about his ability to have 4 pitches and use both sides. That could be another pitch. Your game plan, Michael, when you come in, you sit with your catcher and pitching coach, you say, okay, I'm going to pound these righties in. I'm going to use my cutter, occasional curveball, fastball away. And as the game progresses, and here early in the game, struggling with that pitch, you have to go to maybe plan B, which may be the two-seamer way. There it is.
And he just gets the call. Nick Swisher doesn't like that call by Jerry Lane.
This is 3 in a row. Let's see here. Well, pretty good from that angle. Oh, this would be better.
It's close.
It's pretty close.
That's a 2-seam in between the smaller part of the seams. A little run to it.
1-2. Now Swisher has struggled in these specific situations all year. 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Nick, who's been such a clutch hitter for the Yankees, 1 for 22 this year. So he needs a big base hit here. So do the Yankees. It's 3-1. Red Sox lead, trying to get back in it in the bottom of the first. Those are the numbers we talked about. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases loaded with Yankees. Two. Just missed. Lester wanted that one. So now you can start the merry-go-round. Everybody's going to be going on 3-2.
This ball looks just a little bit farther out. You'll see this one's off the plate.
A-Rod at third, Cano at second, Martin at first. They'll all be going. 3-2, 2 outs, bottom of the first. This will be Lester's 33rd pitch of the inning. Grounded to third. Knocked down there by Youkilis. He spins and fires and got him. He saved the lead right there as Youkilis went down and came up with the ground ball and got Swisher over at first. Yankees get 1 back, but they strand 3. Here in the Bronx, coverage on the Yes Network will start at 6 with Audi batting practice today, and then the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then after the postgame, catch the premiere of Yankeeography, Joe Girardi. It all starts tomorrow at 6, only on Yes. Jared Saltalamacchia will lead off against Freddie Garcia, and the first pitch of the second inning is a strike. 3-1, Red Sox lead the Yankees on the scoreboard. Brought to you by Empire City at Yonkers Raceway. The jackpot next door. That one's fouled away. Jorge Posada, his 30th career game at first base. He's actually started 16 games there. He took over as a pinch runner for Mark Teixeira, who was plunked on the right kneecap by John Lester in the bottom of the first inning. We're waiting to find out any word on Teixeira's condition, but he had to be helped off the field.
We talked about in the first inning about the heat and the long sleeves. Looked like Freddie Garcia went in and put on some shorter sleeves here for the second inning. See, Michael, what power you have up here?
Let you. Grounded to first, past Posada. If I said he'd go put on a turtleneck. Now I wonder if he took off the shirt, he just chopped it off.
Just got mad and ripped him in half.
Yeah.
I know on hot days, and I'm with you. On a hot day like this, you don't need sleeves. Most guys, it's, I wouldn't say superstitious, but you want to protect your elbow. You've always done it since you were a little kid, and even though it's hot. But as you get a little older, and there's a cardio element to obviously throwing these pitches, the effort and energy, and it's a hot, muggy day. I'd go through 4 or 5 different pair of sleeves, change them each inning. Plus they get heavy. I mean, these are new dry fits, so it doesn't. There's not much weight to it.
And Saltalamacchia walks, and up to this point, Garcia certainly does not seem as if he has great command. And Larry Rothschild will try to figure it out. Home run by Ellsbury led off the game, then a walk to Pedroia, and then Adrian Gonzalez tripled off the wall in right center to drive in a run, and then Youkilis with a deep fly ball to left field that ended up being a sac fly, scoring the run. That was the scoring in the top of the first. So Saltalamacchia leads off first, and that's going to bring up J.D. Drew, who really has had a tough season.
Well, this is, I mean, if you're the pitching coach, these are the nights of really, you know, they're going to test you, because here's a guy that has to pitch almost perfectly to get by because they don't have the stuff they used to, and you see Freddie Garcia really struggling with location. Balls are being hit hard. He's getting behind in the count. Really is going to have to find another way of trying to get guys out, and it's not going to be to rear back and throw the ball by people.
You said it, and I'll say this right here. Watching this, and Michael, you mentioned about being behind and walking guys. It's a defensive way of pitching, and here he's throwing a lot of off-speed pitches, giving up a home run on the change-up split to Ellsbury, end up giving up a triple to Adrian Gonzalez on a change. He walks Saltalamacchia to lead off an inning on the changeup. Here's a little slider. Even though this is the problem when you're an older guy and your velocity drops, and you know when your stuff is on, either A, your location is good, or your velocity is enough. And in the case like this right now, Freddie's got to believe, hey, even though it's 86, whatever the number is, I'm going to use my fastball and think down in the zone. Because right now it's that little curveball, throwing a little slider and some splits, and he's basically abandoned his fastball. And when he has thrown his fastball, it's been high out of the zone. Not easy to do, because your instinct as a pitcher is to try to give it your best velocity.
Count 0-1 on Scudero. And there's a strike. Scudero was on the disabled list with a left oblique strain on May 8th. But he has great numbers against Garcia, 6 for 12. The oblique strain certainly seems to be the injury.
I was just going to say, are people born with different obliques these days? Because you never heard back in the old days anybody having a bad oblique.
Fly ball, left center. Giving chase is Granderson, who'll make the catch as the runners hold up. I actually asked a couple of people that, Paul, see if you buy this. I said, why is that such an injury now? And a couple of scouts told me the only thing they can come up with is people are doing so much more T work. And that creates a lot of torque, and it will tear the oblique muscle because people did not do as much T work in their off time as they do now.
Well, I mean, I think hitting, obviously, at the end of my career, you did do a lot. You could take as many swings as you wanted, but to me, it's the strength and the torque that the hitters, you know, I mean, there's more home runs, there's more power, things like that, but teamwork?
Come on. Now, the first thing when you said that, I thought Don Mattingly and Mike Pagliarulo. All they ever did was teamwork.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people have said that Mattingly's career was short because he did so much T work, it might have hurt his back.
I think this. I think the strength and conditioning is as good as it's ever been. I mean, these guys are in fantastic shape. They're constantly having some kind of workout routine. The everyday guys, I don't know about you. Did you work out after the game?
Yeah.
But that was kind of a bug player after the game. He's tired. Maybe he didn't get a hit. He's mad.
That's where it was funny, because the last couple of years right before I retired, you got on a routine of lifting in the morning, and you'd have all day to rest, and you were fine. There was nothing worse than going in the weight room at midnight after you just struck out and lost the game to try to throw some weight around. It was terrible.
Count 2-1 on Ellsbury, who hit a home run to lead off the game. His 7th home run of the year. Also extended his hitting streak to 5 straight. Hits .304 with runners in scoring position. That's what he has right now. First and second with 1 out. Top of the 2nd inning. Saltalamacchia at second. J.D. Drew is at first. Pitch outside.
Now I know you can't help it on nights like this as a pitcher, but if you look at the fielders, flat-footed, just kind of hanging out there, just because nothing's in rhythm right now. You know, it's hard for him to get outs.
Just nip the outside corner, keep that at bat alive.
Oh, so what are you thinking out there? Like, geez, throw a strike. Come on, what are you doing? Stop nibbling.
Exactly, stop nibbling. And you know it's not intentional, but it's frustrating because everything's just off the plate. Or, I'd rather try to run them down than watch the guys, go 3-2 every pitch.
Three-2. Strike 3. Ellsbury down looking. Big out for Freddie Garcia.
2 borderline calls in that count, and this pitch right here, big pitch by Freddie Garcia. A 2-seam fastball, just hit the bottom of the zone. Take that pitch out.
Oh, that was a strike.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ever say, nah, umpire, I don't want that one. That wasn't a good pitch. I don't want that one. No? No?
Pitch to Pedroia is outside.
Yeah, I think he was more upset at the 2 pitches before that.
Yeah, those at bats with runners in scoring position as a hitter. You want one good pitch to try to put in play, and you just feel like the bat he really never got that one good pitch.
Count 2-0. Garcia certainly toughens up with runners in scoring position this year. Now Pedroia, 207 despite 3 hits in his last 5 at bats. Garcia holds hitters to 8 for 56. That's 143 with runners in scoring position. Hammered to left field. That's going to be a base hit. Andrew Jones plays the carom. Saltalamacchia scores. J.D. Drew is at third. An RBI double for Pedroia. And it's 4-1 Red Sox.
Well, on a 2-0 count, Pedroia gets a fastball up in the zone. This is a pitch that just comes on the inner half. You see him pull his hip out. Nice level swing, head on the ball. Driving that ball to left field. Pedroia's 21st RBI in the season. Boy, for a little guy, he swings hard.
I was just going to say, he
unloads.
wasn't trying to take that the other way. You get ahead in the count as a hitter, especially with running the scoring position. You feel like the guy can't throw it by you. You'll take a chance and see if you can really drive one. Got a good pitch to hit there.
Well, they're going to intentionally walk Adrian Gonzalez. That'll load the bases, and they'll take their chance righty-righty against Youkilis. Now, Luis Ayala is ready. Don't know if the Yankees will give Garcia the Youkilis at bat or call on Ayala. That'll be Joe Girardi's decision. And Joe is going to go to the bullpen. He's seen enough of Freddie Garcia. Garcia simply did not have it today. So Luis Ayala will come on. Bases loaded. 4-1 Red Sox lead. Ayala against Youkilis when we come back. Which Red Sox player did Yankee fans love to hate the most? You could text us at 70377 or go to my9tv.com. Here are your choices. Was it Carlson Fisk, Pedro Martinez, Jonathan Papelbon, Manny Ramirez, Kurt Schilling? Text A, B, C, or D, or E to 70377. And I mentioned go to my9tv.com if you'd like. Find out the results right after the game. It's Take on Ruz, brought to you by Toyota. Who did you like?
During my time, it had to be Pedro. I mean, the fans couldn't stand it. Manny had so much family and relatives here that he actually got cheers here.
That is good. You got some good names on there. Schilling.
We'll find out as you take on Russ. Joe Girardi makes a very early call to the bullpen, brought to you by Verizon Fios. To get the best deals on Fios, you have to visit us online at verizon.com/getfios.
You look at Freddie Garcia dejected down there. That was my old spot right there. Right at the end of the dugout.
Except there was a cooler right there.
Yeah, well.
Not always.
Dented one at times.
Here's Ayala against Youkilis.
Coming into the game, he was 0-1 already against the Red Sox with a 70 ERA. So unfair probably, but always looked at how you pitch against the Red Sox, especially when you bring guys in. How are they going to pitch against the Red Sox? And, so far this year, Freddie has had a couple bad outings against them.
Good numbers for Ayala so far this season, the 0-1. Count 1-1.
Well, just as suspected, with the Yankees up on one game on the Red Sox, it's going to be that way. I think even though the Red Sox struggled early on, I don't think there's anybody in baseball thought, okay, then this team's not going to be there in the end.
And if you could fast forward to October, I mean, this could very well be, the playoffs at Boston and New York. I mean, on paper, that's the way it should be. In fans' minds, that's the way it should be. So, you want to, as a team, be very comfortable at playing those teams that you're going to face in the playoffs. And so far,
high pop-up. Andrew Jones makes the play, and Ayala comes on and does the job.
Big out.
No runs, 2 hits, and 3 men left. For Freddie, the first time he failed to complete 5 innings in a start this year. State Ford dealers. June 7th, 1998. David Cone pitches a complete game 2-hitter and strikes out 14 in a 4-1 win over the Marlins. 4-1, the Red Sox lead the Yankees, and Andrew Jones will lead off.
You on that team, Al?
What year was that?
98.
No, it was at the Mets. I remember in 97 you guys came down.
Empire City scoreboard, 4-1, Red Sox lead. There's a strike. Now Garcia knocked out an inning and 2/3. He's made 312 major league starts, and that was the second shortest outing of his career. Count 1-2. Jones has a home run against Leicester earlier this year here at Yankee Stadium. Strike 3. Jones down looking.
That's it. These hitters so far, and this is what makes Leicester tough to square up. They have to respect and honor the fact that he's going to come inside. We've already seen a couple hits batsmen. And then this backdoor cutter. When he gets a feel for it, that's why I think Terry Francona said he's fallen in love with it, because it's a tough pitch to square up, especially in on the hands, and then it's a give-up pitch, because it does look like the fastball. Paint on the outside corner, tough pitch.
He might just... He's cutting that with the release, because you saw the grip on that was just a four-seam fastball. So he's just releasing a little bit different.
Here's Eduardo Nunez, first pitch inside. Explosive and possibly expensive first inning for the Yankees in the bottom of the inning, as Mark Teixeira got hit on the right kneecap and was helped off the field, and we're waiting to get word on what his status is. Jorge Posada pinch ran and is now playing first base in place of Teixeira. That's a player the Yankees can ill afford to lose for a long period of time. Count 1-2.
It's funny you say he had lost that release point of that cutter, and he was the release point he had was the back knee of the right-handed hitters, where he was hitting people. And I look at a golf swing now, and you're hitting the ball bad, and all of a sudden you hit one good, and it's like, there it is. I mean, as a pitcher, can you throw one good cutter and say, there it is,
yes,
and keep it?
Yes. Well, I mean, keep it enough to where obviously it's not an exact science, and the difference between corner and inner third or middle of the plate is only an inch or two on release point. But yeah, I believe that. I think is what helped him so far, and we'll see how this plays out for Leicester, is that he went to the two-seamer after hitting Russell Martin again with a cutter and ended up getting a big out from Swisher to...
Grounded to second, backhanded by Pedroia. Nunez is out.
Jeter, number 2.
Here's Derek Jeter. Derek grounded out to Euclid softly at third base in the first inning. Now, would you say, lifetime, that Derek Jeter has a good lifetime batting average against the Red Sox, or a bad one?
No, I'd say a good one. I mean, most of the time they've been big games. Derek, in my mind, has always been a pretty big game player.
What would you think?
Yeah, I'm going to say good.
Derek's batting average against the Red Sox is .288 lifetime, and he only has one team with a worse batting average against, and that's Seattle, .286. Derek has 282 hits against the Red Sox, third most, but the batting average not there.
That's how he throws those trick questions in.
280. What did you say, 280?
288.
It's still pretty good.
He is going to the Hall of Fame, so.
I'm looking up at the board, and Derek Jeter is a DH today, 2,986 hits, only 25 of them have come when he's been in the designated hitter. Shows you how many days he's been running after that shortstop position.
The 1-1. Good fastball, 1-2.
Again, that's a hittable pitch, but it's set up by that hitter looking for that cutter in. And I used to see it against you. I used to see it against Andy Pettit. You see the front hip open up. I mean, that's a decent pitch to hit if he's looking for that ball out over the plate to drive the other way.
Count 2-2. Now Jeter's numbers against Al Leiter, that's a different story. 17 for 41.
And my question was, I told Derek today, about just joking around. I said, just picture me out there.
You know, Ryan hands Al that note to hand to you, and I'm thinking, you know, if I look at that note, I'll just throw it in the trash can.
And Jeter's going to reach. Let's see if they score that. Should be a base hit. Scudero took his time, and it is a base hit. So now Derek 13 away from 3,000.
Derek Jeter's always been good at getting out of the box, not even watching the play, just running through the bag. And you see Scudero kind of feeling it to the side, and the transition completely across his body takes a little bit too much time.
Boy, he botched the play, really. I mean, he came in, realized he was going to have an in-between hop. Watch here. He's going to aggressively come after it, realizing if he got it a little bit another step, he would have been on an in-between hop, so he backs up. That's the difference between a hit and out there.
Talked about it. Scudero just coming off the DL recently. I mean, these are the things that, you know, you can take as many fungos as you want, practice ground balls, but nothing better than being out there every day, being in the rhythm of playing the game.
Count 0-1 on Granderson, who walked in the first inning and scored the Yankee run. Count 1-1.
They don't take infield anymore at the ball.
I kind of miss those days.
Right?
You know who really likes to take infield are the younger players, because you can show your arm off, you can show that you deserve to be out there, then you just run into the bench and sit and watch the stars. I used to love to take infield in Cincinnati when I wasn't playing. Dave Parker was out there every day, but it gave you that one little moment out there where you felt like you could do something. I thought it helped. I really don't know why that it's totally out of the game now.
Maybe just to save people's energy?
I mean, when you were a little kid, I mean, when you talk about all the stories that coming out to Yankee Stadium, I mean, didn't you enjoy watching them come out, take infield?
Well, you know what, we'll ask around the next week or so and see. Ask Girardi, why don't they take it?
I could probably think one of the answers is that enough of their star players, as you mentioned, basically told the coach and manager, hey, this is a waste of time. We'd rather be in the training room getting ready for the game. This really doesn't help.
Get my work in before the game.
Right.
2-2. Sometimes you see teams taking that almost as punishment.
Right.
If they're not doing a good job fundamentally and they're just thrown to the wrong base, the manager will take them out and do infield.
How about on an off day, coming back from a trip?
Yeah, Buck loved those, didn't he? Buck Shoal.
I remember a couple of those with Billy.
Billy. I bet you got some good Billy story. How many years did you play?
He was only here for half a year. He was let go. 1988.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. And that will do it here in the second. No runs a hit, no errors in. One man left on base. We played 2 here at the stadium. Red Sox 4, Yankees 1.
over the Yankee game.
Yeah, I always wanted to be one of those animated lower thirds.
Well, that must mean it's our cue to remind everybody to wake up with Good Day tomorrow.
And the announcer can do that because we got to take this thing down. We are blocking everybody's view. Mr. Announcer.
Watch Rosanna Scotto and Greg Kelly on Good Day New York, weekdays from 7 to 10 a.m. on Fox 5.
We go to the third inning here at the stadium, 4-1 Red Sox, and David Ortiz leads off against Luis Ayala, who came on with the bases loaded and 2 men out in relief of Freddie Garcia and got Kevin Youkilis to fly out to left field. So count 1-0, Red Sox with 3 runs in the first and 1 in the second, up over the Yankees by 3 runs. Yankees have the shift on for Ortiz, 3 infielders on the right side, only Alex Rodriguez on the left.
Still enjoy watching this guy hit. I mean, he's not what he was 5-6 years ago. There are places you can get him out, but I tell you what, you make a mistake, you can still hit the ball out of the ballpark. And not, I mean, right under his hands, right here on the inner half, he probably isn't going to hit at this stage in his career. But how not too many pitchers can throw 3 consecutive pitches right there without missing, because he's going to hit the mistakes.
Off speed outside. As we move along here, we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Citibank. What's your story? Citibank can help you write it. (3-1). Deep drive, right center. Curtis Granderson drifts back in front of the track. He'll put it away for the first out.
We talked about mistakes. That ball right down the middle, just hit it off the end of the bat enough to keep it in the ballpark.
David Ortiz coming off a Player of the Week award. Just missed that one. And here's Crawford. And there's a strike.
Well, how much of it was it a help for you, Paul, in the years with all the great Yankee teams you were on and having length in a lineup? And I'm thinking of Crawford now. It seems like he's getting back to his ways in Tampa Bay and being comfortable in Boston. To have, that protection, because I always thought when I was facing a lineup, I wasn't just facing Paul O'Neill or Tino Martinez. I thought of it as a whole, because if I got behind, I would look at, okay, how would I get around O'Neill? I'll start over with whoever's behind him, and to have that length to help a guy like Ortiz or anybody else who's struggling, where you can move around, we have some protection.
Well, there's no doubt. Right when he got here, I mean, his career changed completely from the player that he was in Minnesota. A lot had to do with Manny Ramirez, because at that time he was the best hitter in the game by far. And you look at Carl Crawford, ideally, I think by the end of the year, when Terry Francona thinks he's comfortable enough and has turned the page completely, he'll be in front of those guys setting up to score runs, I think.
So you'd have him, Ellsbury. You're not going to move Pedroia. I think you're comfortable, certainly, with Agon, Youkilis, maybe a flip-flop there, depending upon lefty-righty.
And Ellsbury's had a big resurgence. I mean, he's had some injuries. Last year he had a tough year. So, the numbers he's put up this year, he's doing well in the one spot. But, Carl Crawford was brought over here from Tampa Bay in a huge signing, not to be hitting 6th and 7th. I mean, he's a leadoff type guy that can steal bases and score a lot of runs.
$142 million over 7 years. Red Sox gave Crawford. Hector Noesi warming for the Yankees. And I don't think they gave him that money, as Paul said, to bat 6th or 7th. But it'll be interesting to see how they move him up. Do they put Gonzalez as the cleanup hitter and have Crawford bat 3rd? Lofted to center field. Granderson got a late jump and then hauls it in. The ball kept carrying. And Granderson catches up with it for the second out.
Sometimes as an outfielder, you get fooled by the swing. And Crawford looked like he was out front a little bit. Didn't have a swing like he really got it. But this ball kind of really took off. And as a hitter, you see Crawford just trying to will it over his head. Granderson, last little lunge, pulls it in.
Slight little breeze carrying out to center field.
Summer breeze.
Summer breeze.
Well, Seals and Crofts, right? You had that one, didn't you, Mike?
No, I didn't have that one.
Come on. Guy's singing in my ear here. Now I feel like I'm a Seals and Cross concert.
I was thinking Summer Wind when you said that. So I was way off.
Frankie. You know him, right, Frankie, from Hoboken?
Oh, yeah. He's a regular around my household now. How'd that New York song sound to you on the other end of the other side of the field when you walked off when we won, huh?
Well, wait a minute, time out. It was every night, right? It was either Liza Minnelli or Frankie, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Frank, and they won.
Oh, okay. Then it was, what, Liza? They lost?
Right. So, answer the question. What was it like?
What, when you guys won? Didn't notice. I think we...
(3-1). And Saltalamacchia walks for the second time.
I gotta tell you, though, Al, when we did come over to your place for the World Series, Subway Series, I was a little disappointed with who let the dogs out live on the field right before the game started.
You were too, huh? How embarrassing! Are you kidding? It was, and it kept going. We're like, stop already!
Yeah, it was the dance version.
Oh, right in front of the dugout.
Remember the name of the group?
Oh.
You don't either, Al? The Baja Man.
Baja Man. There you go.
Runner on first, 2 outs, top of the third inning, 4-1, Red Sox, Yankees. Red Sox lead. I've talked to a lot of guys on that Met team, and really, they were embarrassed by that.
Oh, it was embarrassing.
We were out there getting loose in the outfield like, this is what they're bringing in for the World Series. Oh, that's good. Those are good memories, Al.
Oh, that's great.
Count 1-2. Now scattered. A couple of Red Sox in the dugout.
So J.D. Drew, in the old days when he was doing things well at the plate, he was almost, he would let the ball just get on top of him before he swung. You see, all his weight is out front a little bit now. In the good days, he reminds me of the way Nick Swisher was last year, where he was real quiet and just let the ball continually travel, and he was quick enough to get to him. Now you see just everything's kind of out front, hit going away.
No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We played 2.5 at the stadium. It's 4-1 Boston. This Yankee Red Sox series coverage starts at 7 p.m. in this battle for the AL East. Yankees Red Sox Game 3, Thursday at 7 p.m. here on My 9. Good pitching matchup in that game would be CC Sabathia against Josh Beckett. But Joe Girardi's worried about this one, and here's Jorge Posada. He pinch ran for Teixeira. We just got word on Teixeira. He was hit on the right kneecap by Lester in the first inning. Had to be helped off the field. They took x-rays negative. They say he has a right knee contusion. He's listed as day-to-day. And in case you're just tuning in, this is what happened. You ever get hit right on the kneecap like that, Paul?
You know, I fouled balls off too, off the kneecap, and they're painful. I mean, again, this is something that you know you'll play with. You're not going to miss a ton of games, but it's something you're going to feel for a long time. And there's again, because all your weight is on it, you can't get out of the way. Just sore for a while.
It hurts, Mike.
You've had it? Now that's a significant base hit for Jorge Posada. That's his first base hit from the right side all year. Now he's turned into a platoon player because of that. But because he gets into the game as a pinch runner for the injured Teixeira, this is his opportunity to get some hacks against the lefty.
You know what? Right before you said that, Michael, I'm looking at the average against it's 0, and I almost thought it was incorrect or a typo. The fact that he hasn't just had a little grounder like that. Good for Jorge. Foot down, drive it through past Scudero.
He was 0 for 27 before that base hit. So he's got that 0 out of that column, and here's Alex Rodriguez against Lester. And there's a strike. Alex wrapped into a 6-4 force in the first inning. High fly ball, right field. J.D. Drew just back. On the track, he'll make the play.
Is that the missed it by that much?
He got a ball away from him, hit it to right field, and it's just you just don't quite square it up. Can't even tell on slow motion how small that area is. I mean, if he just gets a little more wood on that ball, so strong. Tell you what, it's good swing. Everything's there. Just didn't quite square it up. He did. A couple more runs in the Yankee column.
Here's Cano, drove in the Yankees' only run with a bloop single to center. The Yankees had an opportunity to get it all back in the first inning. They had bases loaded with 2 outs, but Nick Swisher grounded to Kevin Youkilis, made a nice play. Diving stop, and that ended the inning. Diving stop to the glove side, got up and threw out Swisher at first. For Cano, it was his 39th run batted in. The way the game has gone and the pace of the game, you would almost think, well, it's a blowout, and it's really not a blowout. It's 4-1, and now we're not saying this to keep you watching. We hope that you do, but you know, one swing right here, it's 4-3. It's a completely different game. It's 4-1 with this Yankee offense. They average 5.1 runs per game, which is best in the American League. Certainly very doable, and the Red Sox bullpen has been sketchy so far this year. Line drive, caught by Scudero in the second out.
There's no question. This game is long from over, and I just think it's just the typical Yankee Red Sox. See a lot of pitches, go deep into counts as they do here. Nice line drive. Scudero decided getting back to first. But there is absolutely, it is legitimate. The average Major League game is 2 hours and 50 minutes. This year, 6 Yankee games have been 3 hours and 22 minutes on average.
6 Yankee Red Sox.
6 Yankee Red Sox, I'm sorry.
Here's Russell Martin. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning. 2 batters plunked by Lester in the first. Line drive, right center, and a nice play by Drew for the final out. That goes over his head. It's a run, but he hauls it in for out number 3. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. Drew went up and came down with the baseball. We played 3, and it's 4-1 Boston. Question brought to you by Fiat. Introducing the 2012 Fiat 500. Visit fiatusa.com to find a studio near you. Here's the question. Jonathan Papelbon has 199 saves and 355 relief appearances. Which pitcher made the fewest relief appearances to record 200 saves?
Got a good guess for this.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm going way up.
All right, we'll find out at the bottom of the 4th inning.
Do I want a Fiat if
I think you do. Top of the line, yep. New pitcher for the Yankees is Hector Noesi. He's going to give the Yankees some length here as we move into the middle innings. So Luis Ayala pitched an inning and a third of shutout ball and got a big out in the second with the Red Sox threatening for more bases loaded. You know, I ran into yesterday, Paul O'Neill, former teammate of yours. You see the numbers on Noesi. Pitched well. This was at the Yogi Berra Golf Tournament yesterday. Andy Pettit was there.
They went in today.
Did you?
Yeah. Got 9 holes in it.
Looks good, right?
Looks real good.
And I said, any urge at all to come back? He said, I think I've pitched my last game. He said, unless something really weird happens at the end of the year and I have this pull, he said, I think that's it. I'm never going to pitch again. Scudero lines to left field. And he said an interesting thing, though. He said, I miss working. He goes, I'm a young man and I shouldn't be doing nothing. He said, that's what's weird about sports. I'm 39 years old and because of the money I made and where I live, I never have to work. He goes, it's just odd not to work. He said, I like to work. He goes, and there'll be nothing that will ever replace me running out to the mound at Yankee Stadium. He said, but I really like being with my kids.
And that, it is funny because there is nothing to replace it. But the funny thing is, and I was laughing with him about it today, is foul ball there, is it's not like you have all this time. It's not like you're just sitting around. You just do different things. He's in his kids' stuff now. He's coaching. He's playing golf. So you're running 24/7. But the important stuff, the stuff you're doing in your mind is just as important, but it doesn't take the place of pitching a World Series game or a Game 7 in the playoffs in Yankee Stadium.
Foul back. He said he doesn't even watch the games that much. He said he caught the last 6 innings of the game on Sunday when Sabathia pitched, and he said it's just, I think that was Sabathia's game. No, the Cologne's game. He said, I just, I've got so much stuff to do. I'm busy from morning till night. He goes, but the strange part is, if you ask the family, they'd flip a coin. They wouldn't mind me coming back because the boys like being a bat boy. And he said, it's strange. He said, but I think, that's it for me. That one is chopped left side, fielded there by Nunez, and he makes a nice play to get the force at second to get Scudero. So Jacoby Ellsbury will take over first.
Right. Watch this little force play. Nunez getting a little bobble
in between hop there, huh?
I get completely what Andy's saying, and I don't know about you, but this is a pretty cool gig. I don't know if this is considered work, but I kind of.
It wouldn't be considered work until I'm in here. I got Red Bull on one side. I'm a little scrunched up here. It's hot.
Get him a sandwich, would you? No, but the whole schedule idea, Michael.
Couldn't do anything better.
There's a lot of opportunities for players now. A lot of different media venues and outlets.
Now check this out, the stat with Pedroia. Pedroia has walked and doubled in a run today. Pedroia has 57 hits this year. 14 of them have come against the Yankees. So he's hitting .560 against the Yankees and .203 against everybody else. He's 14 for 25 against the Yankees. (4-1) Red Sox lead. Ellsbury with 22 stolen bases leads off first.
Still kind of the neat thing about baseball is, walking down the street, you see an NBA player, you can say, that guy's probably a basketball player, football player, that guy's probably a football player. You cross Pedroia and you don't know the Boston Red Sox on the street, you wouldn't even look twice. But, here he is, an ex-MVP. The neat thing about baseball still, if you're a good player, they'll find a place for you.
Time is called by Martin to talk with Noesi. Seems like Noesi's paying a lot of attention to Ellsbury because he has 22 stolen bases and maybe diverting his attention away from the batter.
Well, and also, too, Michael, that comes from the bench. Tony Pena will call a slide step off, throw over, obviously pick off. Yeah, it all takes a couple slide steps from Russell Martin, young pitcher. You obviously know who the green runners are. You go over that. Ellsbury, along with Crawford, are definitely the top speed guys on this team.
Ellsbury leads with 22 stolen bases in the American League. That's a nice pickup there by Posada.
Georgie over there picking. Huh? I guarantee when Girardi said, you're going into first, he had to run back and go through his stuff to find that first base club. Good play.
You ever play first, Paul?
Yeah, I would. Didn't work out real well.
When you were with the Reds?
I played with the Reds a few guys. I played with the Yankees a couple games. Lost a game down in Florida.
Why were you at first?
Because they double switched or something, and I ended up at first in extra innings and got one play, threw it into left field, and went home. It just, for some reason, I looked like a first baseman, but it just didn't work.
The whole lefty thing.
Pitch out. Oh, you must have been in joy after that game.
Well, it's funny because if I would have booted a ball in right field, I really feel bad about it because I'm out there every day working on it. But, I screwed it up. I threw it in left field. I walked in. I'm answering the question. I didn't feel bad because it's not my position. I did the best I could. I'm not used to making that throw. I was playing with I was, again, making that long toss to the left fielder. It didn't work out.
Runner goes. Swung on, missed. Throw to second. Got him. Good throw by Russell Martin.
Great throw right here. All of that step off, slide, step, pitch out. Good throw, Russell Martin, right on the money. Robinson Cano barely had to move his glove. Good pitch to throw on fastball down the middle. Perfect throw. Look at this. Threw it right to the glove. Look like Ellsbury trying to
knock it out with his hand.
8th time now Ellsbury's been caught.
Here's the 2-2. Fouled away. We looked it up, Paul. He played 26 career games at first, 18 starts.
Yeah. It's not much of a career, is it?
Well, that's all you played, but you sprinkled in some other starts. Strike 3. Pedroia down looking. Nice inning for Noesi. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Red Sox 4, Yankees 1. .55 relief appearances. Which pitcher made the fewest relief appearances to record 200 saves? You think you have a guess, Paul?
I think it's Eckersley because he went straight to a closer.
How about Smoltz?
He didn't have 200 saves, did he?
Look at that.
My Fiat will be there tomorrow.
Wow, that is impressive.
Come on, tell me. Is it in this packet here?
No. If it was, I wouldn't have seen it anyway.
Oh, that's right. Doesn't look at it.
Can I ask you a question now? Do you think it's a good idea to be talking with Twizzlers in your mouth?
I was not.
It's not a good idea to have him look at you because they come flying. They're projectiles at this point.
The 1-0 to Swisher. There's a base hit up the middle for Nick.
Well, Nick Swisher, you know, all year he's been trying to find that stroke. If he sticks with this for a while and drives that ball up the middle, I think it's going to show up a little bit quicker. Good piece of hitting. Problem with when you struggle and you get to this point of the season, you want things to happen too quick, and you want bunches to happen and home runs and RBIs all to come at once. And it's so hard just to stick with little, you know, kind of those baby steps you talk about. You know, have some good at-bats and realize that you have a lot of the season. A lot of good things can still happen.
Here's Andrew Jones. Lester with 65 pitches. Foul back to the screen.
Stay away from the 5-run homer. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and I'm sure you got off to a bad start as a pitcher once in a while, and it just seems like you're digging out of a hole the whole year, and it affects you mentally as much as it does physically, because every time you look up at that scoreboard, every time you walk to the plate, it's just a reminder, and it's kind of like I'm behind and I'm trying to catch up, and it just it eats at you.
Off speed, count 0-2.
And I would imagine as a pitcher, if you're 3 or 4 games under 500, you're already looking to win 4 in a row to get back to 500. All of a sudden you drop another one, and it kind of snowballs.
Well, you know what? I was a believer of the month-to-month breaking up your season. You get about 5 starts as a starting pitcher a month, about 30. Some months you get a start or 2 more, put you in that 32, 34 start range.
Swing and a miss. Andrew Jones chases out of the strike zone. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Well, a little aggressive, but I'll tell you what, set up on that previous pitch was a changeup. He was out in front, and now this purpose pitch up in the zone. You see Saltalamacchia wanting that pitch above the letters. Perfect location for an aggressive hitter.
Got to bring up Eduardo Nunez. Grounded to second in the second. Sounded like a broken bat. Fly ball to left field. Crawford puts it away for the second out. Swisher heads back.
If you think about it, he hasn't missed with that cutter in off the plate for an inning or 2, so he definitely has better control of that cutter. Working the outside corner more, and still has a lot of the Yankee hitters bailing out, looking for that ball inside.
Jeter picked up an infield hit. He's 13 away from 3,000. I'd love to get it on this 10-game homestand. If you're wondering, this year he has had a stretch of 10 games where he picked up 14 hits. So certainly is not out of the realm of possibility.
You can have those games too, where he strings together 3 or 4 hits in a couple days.
Needs one big 4-hit game, then maybe a 3-hit game thrown in, and then the other games you chip away. Let's count 1-1. When Jeter got his first hit in 1995, it was against the Mariners, and he was standing at first base next to Tino Martinez, who the Mariner first baseman. Just look this up. Price of gas per gallon was $1.09. Sometime in New York today, I think it was like $4.08. Another base hit for Jeter. So he's 12 away from 3,000.
Tino texted me tonight. He's listening. Glad you threw his name out there.
Constantino. 12 away from 3,000 with this line drive single.
There's that cutter pulling his back elbow in, driving it up the middle enough, getting the barrel of the bat. That Jeter swing, so many hits have happened that way.
The thing is, if you try to pull that ball, you'll go right on top of it, and it just, ground out to the shortstop and the third baseman all night long. But he stays with that ball. I mean, probably 2,000 of his hits has been that way, where he's fighting the ball off, driving it up the middle and the other way.
Here's Granderson. Yankees a long ball away from tying this game. First and second with 2 outs, bottom of the 4th inning. The quest for 3,000 now stands at 29.88. And there's only one name he's looking at. That's Roberto Clemente, who finished at 3,000 exactly. So Derek Jeter has Sam Rice in the rearview mirror. I wonder why Sam didn't hang around for 15 more hits. Why finish at 29.85?
In the old days, I guess numbers and records and things like that weren't as important.
I guess.
How many people, I hate to throw this out at you, but how many people have 3,000 hits?
I think it's 27.
27 people in the history of the game. That's not a lot.
Well, I know our little rolling device there shows, is Clemente 28 or 27, guys? I think Clemente is 27. 27, yeah. So Jeter would be the 28th. Many people might wonder, well, why did Clemente finish at 3,000? He picked up that hit, and then it was toward the end of that season. It was a game against the Mets, and that was the year, the offseason, where he was killed running a mercy mission to Nicaragua. And that's how his career ended, at 3,000 hits. The 3-1. So now it's full at 3-2. So now the runners will go. Swisher from second and Jeter from first. 3-2, 2 outs. Runners go. They'll do it again.
Just looking at the hit leaders here for the 3,000, obviously every person in that club, other than one, Craig Biggio, which he'll be coming up next year, the year after, or in the Hall of Fame.
Now Jack Curry just made me aware that Sam Rice was 44 years old, and he later said he had no idea how many hits that he had. A couple of years later, the Senators asked him if he'd like to come back and try to get those hits, and he said no. So that's why he finished 15 hits away.
How about that? Didn't have an idea how many hits he had.
This Sammy, 20 Major League seasons. He was a world champion when the Senators beat the Giants. 322 career average, and he was in the Hall of Fame in '93. He said if there was more media attention, he would have hung around for 3,000. His last game was in 1934.
You know it's old when you got that old peasant collar on your uniform. It's either you're going to Catholic school or you got an old uniform on, one of the two.
Two, swung on and missed. Big strike at 96 miles an hour. That's the fastest pitch that Lester has thrown tonight. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We go to the 5th.
keep up with you. Introducing the 10 o'clock news with Brenda Blackman and Harry Martin starting June 27th. Give us 9 minutes and we'll give you the important news and weather without delay. Or stay longer for more in-depth stories. The 10 o'clock news on My 9 weeknights starting on June 27th.
Adrian Gonzalez leads off the 5th inning, takes pitch up and away from Hector Noesi. Yankees are trailing 4-1 on the McDonald's scoreboard. Brought to you by McDonald's. Stop by McDonald's today for some juicy, tender chicken McNuggets. Count 2-0 to Adrian Gonzalez.
That's how Gonzalez just takes every pitch like, I'm not in trouble. Sooner or later, I'm going to get something I want. No hurry up here. Just a confident hitter. Not a dead pull hitter. We use all parts of the field.
Well, here's obviously a smart hitter, great hitter. Gonzalez, he has no history, no essay. A couple fastballs, get behind, look for the release points, see the velocity, movement. Your better hitters absolutely are comfortable hitting with 2 strikes.
Got away with one there. That was kind of a spinning slider that just kind of stayed over the middle part of the plate. And now I know as a hitter, you know when you missed a pitch, but I don't know if you release one and you know you got away with it. That ball's right there.
Count now 3-2.
Safe pitch down and away. Some 3 fastballs, a changeup, and a slider.
And the 3-2. Adrian Gonzalez walks. So he's on base for the 3rd time. An RBI triple. And 2 walks, 1 intentional.
Good pitch. Close. Jerry Lane getting that ball down. Had plate coverage. Watch this pitch here. Hitting the glove. Russell Martin had a little tail. He was down a little.
I was going to say, I don't care how you look at that. What angle you look at, that ball's low and it can't be hit.
No, I'm with you on that. That was close.
Pitch is high. I was wondering, Paul, so let me ask you this. How do you think you did against Leiter?
Not real good. I didn't
Really?
like hitting off him, no.
Really?
I got a couple hits here or there, but not a lot.
Well, we've put together a little something just to see exactly how you did
Remember that 450 some odd average
against
Jeter?
Yeah.
You made up for it against me?
I don't know, maybe.
Let's take a look. 1 for 21.
Yeah,
One of them was a home run.
Home run. I remember the home run in Toronto. We got to the playoffs because of that last day. We ended up. Was it the last day of the season? Or the day we had to win every game out. And I remember hitting the home run early off you in the game. Appreciate that.
That one's driven to center field. Granderson will put it away.
You know, it's funny. You remember certain at-bats, and when I did hear about that, they told me the numbers, and they said the home run, and I went right to that. Was it day game?
Day game in Toronto.
The roof was open. Right center field, home run.
Do you want to know how he's so completely lying? He brought those numbers to the truck. I said, I want you to build this. I want you nice
When we
pictures.
have a little longer in a minute.
So what I heard about it.
I heard about it.
Here's David Ortiz.
You know, if he brought them, they're probably not even right. I might have been 10 for 20 off you. I just forgot about them.
There's a strike to Ortiz. David tonight is 0 for 2. He has a 6-game hitting streak. Moved him off the plate.
Good pitch anytime. Show me a good pitcher and I'll show you somebody who's going to make a good hitter feel uncomfortable. Nothing bad about that. Move him off the plate. You got a couple spots. You can go in again a little higher. I would think that David Ortiz sees that as a purpose pitch. Going to look something away.
coming back in, double up.
That one's driven deep to right field. See ya. A 2-run home run for Ortiz at 6-1 Boston.
We talked about Ortiz, Player of the Week. Yesterday he was named, and again, he's been swinging a hot bat. When you miss inside, very dangerous in Yankee Stadium. And I think he's at the point of his career where every once in a while he'll look to cheat inside to get to it. This ball was right on the inside corner, but he was open enough to get to it.
Right. If you're going to come in, then maybe intimidation factor at all. It's not there, but that ball, look at this. He's flipping the bat there, saying, "Okay, you're coming inside. You got to be better than that." Now the double inside's not a bad idea, but not down and in on the plate, inner third. You move his feet. It's got to be a better pitch. Better pitch a little further up and inside more. And here at the stadium, as you say, Paul, it's so dangerous. A guy with great power to hit the ball to right field.
That's the first home run that Noesi has allowed in the majors. Crawford with a fly ball to left. Jones will put it away. Let's take a look at the sweet swing of the game brought to you by Hershey Park.
Again, it looks like he's looking for this ball in, and as a hitter, you open up a little bit, look quick, knew it, got rid of the bat. A lot happened there in a short time.
Now, let me ask something as a pitcher. He throws the bat away like that. Is it chapping you?
A little, yeah.
I think more so if that's an unknown young player.
No doubt.
Than
there's certain guys that deserve that kind of behavior. Certainly David Ortiz, the career that he's had. And I think it may be a little reaction to the pitch way inside. Oh, okay, you want to come inside, youngster? Bam. And knowing David Ortiz, he's not an awful guy. This isn't typical of his behavior. So it depends on the player and what their history is of doing stuff like that.
Did you hear the story about Bryce Harper, the #1 pick of the Nationals in A-ball? Yesterday hits a home run. And there's Kevin Millar, former Red Sox idiot, self-proclaimed.
He tell you, right?
And Bryce Harper hit a home run and watched him, took his time, and then walked around the bases, and the pitcher who's, I guess, getting chapped, and he blows him a kiss.
Yeah.
Bryce, wow.
Popped up. He's just 18. Granderson will put it away, and that will do it. This is the first time the Yankees have allowed 6 runs or more since May 23rd. This is the inside pitch from Noesi. Obviously, Ortiz didn't like it, and then hits a 2-run home run and dramatically flips the bat away as the Red Sox lead 6-1. App for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Yankees.com for details. So Lester now has a 6-1 lead. Yankees have a lot of ground to make up. Here's Posada. And there's a ground ball up the middle. Grabbed there by Scudero. Fires to first. And Posada now has 2 hits against lefties.
I think Scudero, knowing the runners, as every infielder should, good play to get it, no question about it. I think maybe he was a little bit too long and casual. You saw Posada just barely beating that ball. I think Scudero maybe could have attacked it a little bit more, got up a little quicker. No, that Posada's not the fastest, busting out. Trying to get that single.
Scudero's throw almost went out of the television screen. Had a little lob on it. Didn't put much on the throw.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. And there's a strike. The McDonald's scoreboard shows the Red Sox leading 6-1, bottom of the 5th inning here in the Bronx. Count 0-2.
Looks to me, Paul, that Alex has caught him a little bit in between, but knowing that Lester will show that body line cutter in on the hands, but yet aware of that little fastball away as he just missed in his previous at bat.
Yeah, it's almost as a hitter, you start guessing with the pitcher. And when you're looking cutter and you start to open that front hip, you're giving away anything but that cutter on the inside corner. Last time up, he did. It looked like he looked for the ball away and almost hit it out to right field. There's some great guess hitters. Tino was one of the best guess hitters I've ever. If he got that pitch, he was looking for it. He hit it out of the park. Not a lot of guys can guess because you just don't get what you get. I mean, right there, you just. If you're looking dead fastball, but again, that's the big breaking ball that he saw only the first time in that count. And as a hitter, that's the one that it just freezes you because you haven't seen it.
Well, you know what? Of the right-handers, that's the first one that he threw tonight. Lester did. He's thrown it to Cano and Granderson. That's the tough. That's a curveball. Hand on top, pull it down. The velocity's about 10, 12 miles an hour slower than your fastball. Can't pull the trigger. It's a good pitch. Well, I'm curious. You say guess. What's the difference between guessing and sitting on a pitch? Because I think more guys look for pitches, especially early in the game.
I mean, when you look for a pitch, I think you look more location. If I'm looking for a ball inside, I'll look, as I think Ortiz did on his last home run.
High drive right field. Drew coming in, and he'll put it away for the second out.
And usually when you're guessing, in my mind, you're usually guessing off speed. As a left-handed hitter, you will look for that slider from a left-handed pitcher over and over again, and if you get it, and like I said, there were some good hitters. Don Mattingly, I know, did it a lot. Tino did it a lot. And if you get that breaking ball when you're looking for it, sure, you can do something with it.
So you didn't sit on pitches?
I didn't. I adjusted the breaking balls much better than when I tried to guess at everything. I just looked for fastballs out over the plate and tried to adjust to everything else. Believe me, there were times that I wish I could guess because every once in a while as a hitter, things just don't go well for you up there.
Here's Russell Martin, hit by a pitch and then robbed of an extra base hit. Nice play by J.D. Drew in right center. Russell is in the midst of a 1-for-23 slide.
And Michael, if this continues, I mean, what do you do? I mean, the second half of the season, more days off, or are you just hoping that this doesn't continue? As a manager, you think, this is just a bump in the road?
Well, if it continues, I mean, they've got some serious questions that they love what he does behind the plate, even if he's not hitting.
Right.
And if you look at Cervelli, he's not hitting like he used to hit. He's under 200. So, when you're not going to play Russell Martin, that means you're going to play Cervelli, and he's hitting lower than the 235 that Russell's at right now. But I think that their main objective with Martin is to catch the way he's caught. And he's done a good job.
Yeah, I agree with you, Michael. I think with Russell Martin, as good a job as he's done behind the plate, and has absolutely shown spurts of hitting the ball, especially out of the ballpark. 9 home runs. You just got to assume that this guy's going to go through his streaks. Hit a high of 282, 293 with the Dodgers.
There's a base hit. He needed that one. And that moves Posada to second. The Yankees have had runners on base against Lester. They just have not been able to come up with a big hit.
Out in front a little bit. This looked like a backdoor cutter on the back side of the plate, trying to sneak around the back corner. Outside corner, reaches out, gets a nice little line drive swing. See, he was out in front a little bit.
There's the breakdown per inning. 33 in the first, and that leads to the 90 that he has here in the 5th inning.
And Al, as you look at those numbers, I mean, it really turned around where he started throwing to the outside part of the plate to the right-handed hitters. I mean, he just did not have that good cutter or control with that good cutter in early in the game. And he's changed, and he's looked much more confident the last 2 or 3 innings.
Yankees 1 for 4 tonight with runners in scoring position. They left 7 runners on base over the first 4 innings. They left the bases loaded in the first. They left 2 on in the 4th inning. Now they have 2 on here in the 5th with Swisher at the plate. Nick grounded to third. Nice play by Youkilis in the 1st inning with the bases loaded, then singled to center in the 4th. Nick's numbers are not very good with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. 1 for 23 this year. Lester's always been a good pitcher against the Yankees. 7-1 with a 3.49. Hey, you know, overall he's been a very good pitcher. His career record is 68-27. He's also been a road warrior. This year 4-0, 3.30 away from Fenway, and in Boston 3-2, 4.83. It seems like the left-handers that are successful in Boston are going to make you hit the ball the other way. But if he's throwing that cutter to righties, maybe that short wall hurts him. The best type of lefties at Fenway are kind of the Bruce Hurst type.
I was just thinking that little change up away. Bobby Ojeda had some good years there. John Tudor, if you remember when he was up there, same thing. That little 2-seamer way, change up, take advantage of that big little triangle out right center field. Yeah, that's a danger, and I think that's a legitimate point, Michael. You throw as many cutters as he does and miss inside. You know, that's a lot of peppered doubles off the wall, the Green Monster.
That one is drilled into left center field. It is a base hit. Splits the outfielders, and it goes to the wall. Posada scores. Here comes Russell Martin. He'll score. It's a big 2-run double for Nick Swisher. And the Red Sox now lead 6-3.
Again, last time up, Nick Swisher base hit up the middle. Again, then you come up with later in the game with a little confidence, 2 men on, big hit, 2 outs, 2-run double. Ball away, and you see his eyes stay with that ball and just drive it to the gap. Don't come off of it. One of the better swings you've seen off Nick Swisher.
Another mistake from Lester, keeping that ball up in the zone. Just cut enough on the inner part of the plate for Swisher to get his 26 RBI in the year.
All right, here's Andrew Jones. This game's still not put away by the Red Sox. It's 6-3, and there's a lot of baseball to be played. It's just the bottom of the 5th inning. That one's popped up. Saltalamacchia makes the play for the final out of the 5th. But 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 1 man left. Let's go to the 6th. 6-3 Boston. Stadium, and the Red Sox lead 6-3. Hector Noesi, the third Yankee pitcher. Freddie Garcia couldn't get out of the second inning, his second shortest outing ever. Then Luis Ayala, now Hector Noesi. Noesi gave up 2 runs in the 5th inning on a 2-run home run by David Ortiz. J.D. Drew takes a strike. 6-6-0, leading 3-8-0. Off speed, swung on and missed.
You talked about J.D. Drew and his troubles at the plate this year, and a lot of the hitting has to do with balance. And you see some of these swings just out of balance, out front, behind the fastball. And as a hitter, you work on it in batting practice. You go in the cage, everything's fine. And as soon as you show up for the game, it's just like you can't take it into the game at this point.
Popped up. Look at Russell Martin climbing the top of the wall, but couldn't go into the stands to make the play.
Look at that.
He's feeling frisky.
That's a catcher. Did that for the catchers. I saw that spring training piece on him where he does agility and yoga and all that stuff.
Karate.
Soft ground ball is short. Nunez just gets Drew. As we move along in the 6th, we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by your tri-state area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. Well, the Yankees have finished with the amateur draft. They selected 30 players. The first player they took was the 51st pick overall, and it was Dante Bichette Jr. out of Orangewood Christian High School in Florida. And there's something to that name. Obviously, he's the son of Dante Bichette, the former big league ball player. Dante Bichette and Joe Girardi, best friends. So much so that Joe's only son is named after Dante Bichette. Little Dante Girardi is named after Dante Bichette. And Dante Bichette Jr., a third baseman, a lot of power, hit about .640 his senior year. And I was talking to Jack Curry today, who actually saw something on YouTube. He said it almost looks like Dante Bichette's twin, the way he swings, the way he looks. There's a ground ball to short. 2 away as Scudero is retired. And there's a resume on Dante Bichette Jr. Now, Dante Bichette, a 4-time Major League All-Star. He was actually a member of the Little League World Series team from Maitland, Florida in 05. .640 with 10 homers in his senior season. And the 51st overall pick, the first by the Yankees in the 2011 Major League Baseball draft. He's committed to go to the University of Georgia, but actually said on his Twitter account today that this was one of the best days of his life. So maybe the Yankees could get him to play professional baseball.
When you were drafted, I mean, that's as exciting as, because when you're drafted, you don't have any second thoughts of, I'm not going to make it. It's just like, I'm drafted, I get the chance to play Major League Baseball. And then you go to the minor leagues and reality sets in that, hey, I
there's
guess
400 other guys.
Yeah, everybody's here to do the same thing, and they're pretty good.
There's a line drive caught by Cano as Ellsbury is retired. So 1-2-3 inning for Hector Noesi and the Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Red Sox lead 6-3. Watching Yankees baseball here on My 9. All of that adds up to Red Sox 6 and the Yankees 3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Eduardo Nunez will lead off. You know, we're talking about draft picks. I just wanted to mention one other that the Yankees made. Their 4th pick was a kid by the name of Matt Duran from New Rochelle High School, and also a member of Hank's Yanks, which is a team that's sponsored by Hank Steinbrenner. He's very proud of kids from New York and the surrounding areas, and they take on all comers, and they've done very, very well. And the kids in that program have done well. And look, one of those guys gets drafted by the New York Yankees, so kind of a little bit of symmetry there.
Pretty neat. Michael, I was just telling you, it's weird because it's got all the names and numbers of school, the weight, and then the date of birth, and 92, 93. How'd that make you feel, Al? Nice and young?
I felt old for at least 6 years. No, but I'll tell you.
That's when it sunk in about 6 years ago?
Yeah, 40. That was the big one, 39-40. But looking at this draft, Michael, of the top 7 picks, high school, 6 of the 7 were high school. You mentioned about Dante Bichette Jr., the 51st pick overall. But I find that this is an organization that's not afraid to, because a lot of times you'll see clubs that high school kids especially will go down in the draft because of signability issue.
Those are the top 5 picks overall in the Major League Baseball draft. And Jarrett Cole actually was the Yankee draft pick as a senior coming out of high school. He decided to go to UCLA. And he ends up being the #1 pick in the draft, a right-hander who this year threw 100 miles an hour.
You remember the day you were drafted? Yeah. You remember where you were? Everything?
Totally, yeah. I wasn't pitching. I was at a high school game. I remember a local radio guy came down. It was a backfield in my high school and down in Toms River area, and said, you were just drafted 2nd pick by the Yankees. I said, the Yankees? Wow. They were covert, sneaky, didn't even see them.
Ground ball, nice play there by Gonzalez. And he just beats Nunez to the bag for the first out.
Nice play here. The speed of Nunez busting down the line. Good play. Gold glove material from Gonzalez. Easier to just take it himself. He saw he had the distance to be able to outrun Nunez, barely. One less transfer to the pitcher. See, he got him by a step.
So here's Derek Jeter, 2 hits tonight, so he is 12 away from 3,000. So you were drafted in the 2nd round by the Yankees in '84.
Yes.
Now, Paul, you were drafted in the 4th round. Both got picked by your hometown teams.
Yes.
Paul was drafted by the Reds in '81. Did you get a big signing bonus out?
For the time.
The time, it seemed like a lot now, right? Yeah. That's back when gas was 50 cents a gallon, I remember.
You know what? While you were doing the gas thing, I asked Ryan to pull up when you first got your hit. Apparently, gas was higher in 1985 than it was in '93.
Really?
Yeah. It was more money in '85 than it was in '93.
Jeter pops it up. And out of play.
So no, Michael was drafted, and he just went on. He went to college instead.
Well, what you had? What the 3rd pick or Fordham? What was your option?
You know what? I'm not even going to entertain the 2 of you. Nice guys I work with.
You saw a lot of talent. You pitch runner, power hitter.
They did not see pinch running, believe me.
I thought when you mentioned about Matt Duran and Hank's Yanks, he signed a letter of intent to go to Fordham.
No. Well, he might. I don't know. Did he?
He did. Yeah, he did. Well, that's what I was going to mention about this Jordan Coate, who was apparently a steal, a high school kid. He was the 3rd pick by the Yanks, but was supposed to go higher. When you have 6 of your top 7 picks of high school kids, you're drafting kids that probably should have been a little higher.
A lot of schools of thought on that, or 2 schools of thought. Take the college player who's closer to Major League ready, or take the high school player that still has a lot of growing to do and could be better than what you see at that point when he's 17 or 18. The 3-1. Hot shot to second base. Pedroia will bench Jeter for the second out.
Funny game out. Probably the hardest ball he's hit all night. Pedroia makes a good backhand kind of stab at it. Ball kind of comes up on him. See, Jeet's got a good swing going tonight, kind of inside out, drilling the ball to the right side. He hustles down the line. That ball got stuck in Pedroia's glove a little bit, and he almost beat it out.
107 pitches for Lester here in the 6th inning, and here's Granderson.
Well, when you say that, you believe in luck or unluck? Lucky, unlucky in baseball. There's an opportunity, chance. The hit, the bloop, the broken bat.
Some guys are far more lucky than others.
So you believe that?
Absolutely. Johnny Damon, who I love as a player, love as a guy, used to bleed him. I used to just scream out there, and Tino would just turn around and laugh. He'd hit 4 balls, 4 broken bats, and be 3 for 4. And the next guy'd come up, hit 3 bullets, and be 0 for 3. So luck is a big part of the game. There's no doubt about it.
Driven deep to right field and foul.
Much more than in pitching. Pitching, I mean, basically you throw a strike or a ball. There's really no luck involved other than you got Mark Hirschbeck behind the plate and he's going to give you a foot outside. That's kind of the luck of the draw.
John, I think you're talking about John.
Well, Mark was his brother.
Mark was also the same.
Yeah.
Some things never go away, do they, Al? He's still mad at the Hirschbeck brothers. It's amazing. 6-3, Red Sox lead the Yankees, bottom of the 6th inning. Granderson 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Lester has struck him out twice. Popped up. Scudero is there, and a 1-2-3 inning for Lester and the Red Sox. Derek still 12 hits away. The Yankees 3 runs away from tying it. We go to the 7th. Dunkin' Donuts. To get dunked, go to www.getdunked.com. The membership rewards from American Express, the social currency. And by Sands Casino Resort Bethlehem Hotel, now open. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. We go to the 7th, and Dustin Pedroia takes a strike on the outside corner. Noesi in his 4th inning of work. fouled away.
Well, so far his only mistake was that fastball in.
See the scoreboard brought to you by Fidelity Investments. Turn here, 6-3, Red Sox lead.
The importance of when you have a bad start and your starting pitcher to come in and just throw up as many zeros as you can. Hope your offense chips away.
Tap slowly. And Noesi makes the play. 1 down. So the Yankees have gotten Pedroia the last 2 times, and he has hit them very well this year. Pedroia, the way he wears his uniform, just the way he looks like an old-time player. Looks like he could have played in the 30s or the 40s. Baggy pants, beard. Not a big guy.
He definitely fits under the gamer category. Grinder.
Adrian Gonzalez takes inside. Dribbled slowly to first. Posada. 2 outs.
Off-speed slider. See Gonzalez get out in front and try to pull this ball. You know, his natural stroke is to left field. You'll see him drive this ball away, but come over, try to pull that ball. Doesn't happen very often when he's in 340. Those are the plays you want as a first baseman when you're not used to playing first. Right there, a little 15 hopper.
The little league dribbler.
Posada filling in for Mark Teixeira. Got hit on the right kneecap in the first inning. Got to be helped off the field. X-rays were negative, and he will be reevaluated tomorrow. Grounded to third. Alex Rodriguez will gun it to Posada, and a 1-2-3 inning for Noesi as the Red Sox go down in order. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees trail the Red Sox 6-3, but we'll keep it right here to honor America in the Bronx.
For a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now please join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
To the old
opportunity to go against one of the weaker aspects of the Red Sox team, and that's their bullpen. And the first try will be against Bobby Jenks, signed as a free agent, 2 years, $12 million, longtime closer of the White Sox, but a setup man here. And he has not lived up to his past performance with the White Sox. He's struggled. Look at his ERA, 6.57, 18 hits in 12 and a third innings, 10 walks, 28 base runners in 12 innings, and 14 strikeouts. So let's see what the Yankees do against Bobby Jenks. It'll be Posada, A-Rod, and Cano.
Well, that 10 walks really sticks out. And reliever, you're taught to come in, strike one. Most important pitch of any pitcher, but especially reliever.
Posada with 2 hits tonight against the left-hander. First 2 hits batting right-handed all year, and Jenks throwing hard, throws low, 1-0. Well, they've announced the crowd here at the stadium, 48,450, and that is a sellout, announced as a sellout. A big crowd, as always, for the Yankees and the Red Sox. Count 2-0. Red Sox bullpen is 11th in the American League with a 4.26 ERA. Had a right bicep strain. Went on the DL, retroactive to May 2nd. Came off the DL Tuesday.
I mean, Jenks had overpowering stuff in Chicago, but I don't care how overpowering. If you're walking people and you're pitching behind, it comes out ball 1, ball 2, you're going to get hit.
Now, one thing that Jenks did with the White Sox is he would bleach his hair almost like white blonde, but he has moved away from that. And now it looks like something's up. They are calling somebody from the dugout. Jenks in some sort of distress.
It looked like he was holding his arm funny after the second pitch.
Well, Michael, you said the DL time with the bicep. I mean, here we're talking about a guy just a couple years ago, 95 to 100 mile an hour fastball. This is not good here.
Now this is the last pitch.
Not right there. That more looks like the shoulder than the bicep, doesn't it?
Oh, it's back. It's my back.
And he is walking up very, very slowly. So something happened with his back there, and he'll walk up with Francona and the trainer. Red Sox have as much time to get someone ready in injury, so they'll call the bullpen, and we'll be back in just a sec. Yankees Universe rookie member and receive a limited edition Derek Jeter bobblehead. This 5-inch bobblehead is only available as part of the Universe rookie package and is a must-have for every fan's collection. Members will also receive the other items in the Universe rookie package, including a Yankees Universe t-shirt and a customized membership card. Join Yankees Universe today by calling 800-GO-YANKS or by visiting yankees.com/universe. So Derek with 2 hits tonight is 12 away from 3,000. Yankees are trying to get back in this one. They're actually in the game. They're trying to overtake the Red Sox. Red Sox jumped out to a 3-0 lead in the top of the first inning. Freddie Garcia simply did not have it. They allowed another run in the second, and then a 2-run home run by David Ortiz in the fifth against Hector Noesi. That gives them their 6 runs. The Yankee runs, one came in the first inning, an RBI single by Robinson Cano, and the other 2 came in the fifth, a 2-run, 2-out double by Nick Swisher. And the Yankees are trailing 6-5 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Speaking of the Yankees, let's look at their in-game box score. Brought to you by Sands Casino Resort. Bethlehem Hotel now open. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Jeter with the 2 hits. Posada 2 for 2, taking over for Mark Teixeira, who left in the first inning after being hit on the kneecap, right kneecap. Alex Rodriguez looking for a hit. Robinson Cano, that RBI single. Russell Martin 1 for 2 with a run scored. Nick Swisher 2 for 3, a double and 2 ribbies. Andrew Jones has struck out twice. Eduardo Nunez, like Jones, also 0 for 3. So John Lester went 6 innings for the Red Sox, and they bring in Bobby Jenks to pitch the 7th, but on a pitch to Posada, you can see he hurt his back, so they turn it over to Albers. Albers 22 hits in 22 innings with 22 strikeouts. Decent numbers. The 9 walks he'd like to bring down a bit. 31 base runners in 22 innings. He has 5 holds and a 3.68 ERA. So Posada, who was single to left and had an infield single to short, also has a run scored. He digs in. I believe the count is 3-1 as the Red Sox lead 6-3. And it is 3-1. It'll be Posada, A-Rod, and Cano against Albers. Is charged to Bobby Jenks because he left the 3-1 count. And that'll bring up A-Rod with a runner on first.
Matt Albers, there's some history here. He was with the Orioles, signed as a free agent with the Red Sox this winter. Last year, actually 62 appearances, a career high for him while with the Orioles.
You know, as a hitter, you come into the game, you're swinging the bat pretty good. You face John Lester and basically have 3 at-bats that you don't want to ride home about. All of a sudden, it's good to see somebody out of the bullpen. Just a different look. That's what I look like, you know, and Alex Rodriguez right here.
Rodriguez 1 hit and 8 at bat against Albers. Count 2-0. Red Sox have Daniel Bard to pitch the 8th and Papelbon to pitch the 9th. And now Kurt Young is going to go out and talk with Albers. I mentioned the Red Sox bullpen has been an issue all year. Now, before the game, Jonathan Papelbon was suspended for 3 games for his altercation with an umpire last weekend, but he appealed the 3-game suspension, so until they hear that, he is eligible to be active. And this is a Saturday at Fenway Park, and he gets into a little bit of a brouhaha with Tony Randazzo. Actually bumped him, and that's what probably got him the 3-game suspension. But you do have an opportunity to appeal. That's why he's not serving it immediately.
most of the time when pitchers get suspensions, it's no big deal, especially starters. You get a 3-game suspension, who cares? But when you're the closer, 3 days, that could be 2 or 3 appearances. You don't know, depending on the series.
The 3-0. Lays it in there for a strike.
Well, for that very reason, Paul, if a starting pitcher ever got a suspension, when they do, it's more than 3 days. It's usually that 6-day suspension. Make sure you miss at least one start. No question, 3 days for a closer. Be a couple opportunities, get some saves for your team.
High fly ball, right field. Drew makes the play. 1 out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees or the mayor. I don't know if he has to give you written consent. Mayor Bloomberg is here with his daughter.
How about 3-0? You like swinging?
Well,
did you?
I didn't like swinging,
3-1.
no. But, I mean, this is a 3-1 pitch. This ball's up, and you can see Alex just missed a couple balls. I mean, that ball right there, again, kind of tailing away. Not an easy pitch, obviously, but a good pitch for him to drive the other way. Just missed him.
Here's Cano. Pitch outside, 1-0.
And I meant 3-1, but I'm thinking 3-1. You got a guy who's struggling with his fastball. Are you looking just for that spot that's your location? Difficult to lay off. Obviously, you're in the driver's seat with a pitcher with a little command issue.
Alpers gets movement, though. You see, nothing he throws, everything he throws has a little tail on it. A little sink or a little tail, and it's hard to just sit on that dead red fastball down the middle of the plate, because if you do, and you go to start pulling off of it, that little sink or that little tail, you're just going to roll over and ground out. Very disciplined as a hitter when you're thinking, okay, I'm in a hitter's count, I'm going to try to really do something with this pitch. It's very hard to not try to pull that ball, and that's what gets you in trouble when you try to hit home runs.
Count 2-1.
That's why I got so mad at Kramer when he promised 2 home runs. I told him I wasn't a home run hitter.
You know how hard that is, I think you said?
How hard that is? Can't pull that ball.
Tommy Hatovi, a lone left-hander.
Gary Tuck in the background. Ex-Yankee game.
Gary, the windbreaker. Used to be a bullpen coach and catching instructor.
Gary Tuck used to throw me batting practice in the cage underneath before regular batting practice all the time, and he had a weird arm angle, weird delivery, so a lot of guys wouldn't hit off of him. One day we were down in Florida, and I turned, you know how the hitter turns around and bunts the first one. He fires one, hits me right in the rib, first pitch. I'm looking at him like, are you kidding me? We're taking BP here.
Wanted to keep you honest.
Yeah. Keep you on your toes.
Not holding Posada at first, the 2-2. There's a ground ball short. Let's see if they turn 2. There's one on the first double play. And that will do it for the Yankees here in the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We go to the 8th. 6-3 Sox. brought to you by Sands Casino Resort, Bethlehem Hotel, now open. And 1 for 4, Jacoby Ellsbury led off with a home run. Pedroia a double, an RBI and a run scored. Gonzalez, 3 ribbies, and David Ortiz a 2-run home run. As we go to the 8th inning, and David Ortiz will lead off against Noesi. Foul back. You know, we were talking about how after hitting the home run and previously being moved back by Noesi, that Ortiz kind of flipped the bat away dramatically. And then we told you the story about young Bryce Harper, the #1 pick from last year's draft, who kind of like threw a kiss to the pitcher as he was rounding the bases. And Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt said, you know what, you can't legislate against that. He said, but what happens is that baseball, the players legislate against it. Yeah. He said that's what stops you. That's what teaches you. You have to let the players take care of that. You can't pass a rule and say you can't do stuff like
no
that.
Kissing.
Yeah, no kissing from the dugout. You know, the first guys that come to mind when you hear stories of that are, you know, Nolan Ryan, Bob Gibson. I mean, Nolan Ryan, if you got a hit, you sprinted to first base. It just, you didn't. You walked in, you wouldn't make eye contact. I mean, they would intimidate you there.
Roger, Pedro.
Yes.
Popped up to the shortstop. Nunez playing on the second base side, 1 away.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Michael. What happened with Buster Posey not too long ago from Cousins, a young player with the Marlins, taking him out, breaking his ankle as a result of a barrel over slide. People in baseball, or at least the Giants, think, how do you legislate against that? How can you?
I mean, some parts of baseball, I mean, that's an exciting play of baseball. I mean, granted, you don't want to see guys like Posey get hurt, but, I mean, collisions at the plate have been there for years. Pete Rose, even in an All-Star game, probably, you know, it disrupted Ray Fosse's career, but that's just a play that happens in baseball every so often. So I don't know how you... I mean, when you go to a Little League game, you know that you're not allowed to hit the catcher, but it takes some of the fun away of the old part of the game, of that bang-bang play at the plate.
Talking to Yogi Berra, Hall of Famer, voted one of the 2 best catchers in baseball history, and I talked to him about it yesterday. And he had a great answer. He said, I never blocked the plate without the ball. He said, I always gave the runner room to slide. He said, but if I had the ball and I saw the guy wanted to have a collision, I tagged the guy right in the mouth with the baseball. He goes, he wouldn't be doing that anymore. So that's how people police themselves. Yeah. He said, I would just tag him right in his teeth, which I thought was pretty cool.
Now, it's the same kind of idea as that shortstop. You know, you're taught to get in there, go in, you know, try to flip him. That shortstop will get that ball down so low, and if you don't slide, and in rookie ball I didn't slide, and I got hit right in the forehead.
Really?
I mean, yeah, it teaches you, and you only get a hit once, and you'll get out of the way because they're taught to protect themselves by the way they release the ball at second base.
Crawford, fly ball to left center. They had him played perfectly. Granderson puts it away.
Yeah, as you say, Michael, the legislation is deemed on the field as far as how you police it. And it really comes down to, most of the time, a baseball player knows whether a play was dirty or not. And there's a general consensus, and there are certain players that are viewed as dirty players, and there's a consequence.
As you look at Carl Crawford, and you know, he got off to a horrible start lately. He's been swinging the bat much better, but the one thing you do see is he's hitting all fly balls. I mean, with his speed, you wouldn't see him go through times like this if he just slapped the ball the other way, kept the ball on the ground 4 or 5 times a game, and chances are that, you know, he's going to beat a couple of those out.
How you make up for speed, and what an asset for any baseball player if you have the ability to put the ball in play, especially on the ground on the left side.
Tries to pull that pitch and grounds it to Cano. A nice easy 1-2 inning in what is now the longest big league outing in Hector Noesi's short career. Go to the bottom of the 8th, 6-3 Red Sox. Toyota. Which Red Sox player did Yankee fans love to hate the most? Is it A, Carlton Fisk, B, Pedro Martinez, C, Jonathan Papelbon, D, Manny Ramirez, or E, Kurt Schilling? Text A, B, C, D, or E to 70377 or go to my9tv.com. Find out the results right after the game. It's Take on Russ, brought to you by Toyota. Now the Yankees will see the hard-throwing right-hander Daniel Bard. When I say hard-throwing, we're talking upper 90s, sometimes triple digits. 2.97, 20 hits in 30 innings, 30 strikeouts, 7 walks. Great numbers. But he does lose games, 1-4 with a 2.97. Russell Martin will lead it off. Count 1-0. Nasty pitch. Guy who can throw 98 and then he gets that over. Yankees have always hit Bard fairly well. He has a 4.42 ERA against them, the highest for any team that he has made more than 10 appearances against. They make him throw strikes. That's a nasty pitch again, 1-2.
Well, the absolute equalizer against right-handers, Michael, you're right about that. 130 batting average against the righties, and that's because of that slider. That is a power slider that's running down the way. Great spin, late break.
Line drive to right field. J.D. Drew makes a play on the run. So Russell Martin hit it right on the screws, but Drew ran it down.
This is where those luck things come involved. You do everything you can. You get a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. You barrel it up. You hit it right on the nose. Right fielder's playing you the other way, and that's the frustration I knew a few times. You know, as a hitter, again, you do everything you can perfect, and you're still putting that helmet in the rack. Just laying it in there, Michael. Just nice and easy. Don't want to put a scratch on it. Might need it later.
Here's Nick Swisher. Is there any way, Paul, to articulate the difference in hitting against a guy who throws 92 and a guy who throws 98?
Well, you're so gauged at 92, 93, and it for some reason there's like this line of 95 and above that everything just seems to be in fast motion, and it just it's a totally different thing. And what's almost unfair is when the guy has that good arm speed to throw 97. Everything else is better too. The breaking ball, the slider, everything. And it just, you know, that's why it's such a gift to be above that like 95 to 97 mark. And it's almost unhittable.
Nick Swisher did not run out of the box. He thought that was going to be a foul ball. There was a smattering of boos as Gonzalez caught it close to the line and just stepped on the bag for the second out. Here's Andrew Jones. .99 miles an hour. I don't know if he thought it was going to be foul or if he thought it was foul.
Either way, got to run it out.
Overpowering Bard is right now. Count 1-1. Andrew Jones has always been a dead red hitter. But is he this dead red?
Does that frustrate you? Are you talking about big swings when the guy swings so hard that his helmet falls off? Does that mean anything? But I mean, he was behind it, so you're like, you're swinging another one?
I would probably try another one upstairs in the zone. Maybe it's a loose helmet.
That was 100 miles an hour.
Here's the one before.
He's always been a big cut, big swing guy. Definitely doesn't get cheated, Andrew Jones.
Swing and a miss. So he went with a breaking ball after a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. The Yankees go down in order 1-2-3. We go to the ninth. 6-3 Boston. He's won 4 rings, but his father told him to go for something far bigger than baseball. The one goal Bernie's dad wanted him to achieve. On the Verizon Fios game wrap-up tonight on My 9 News.
You know the answer? I mean, you know what that is?
No, I got to watch.
Really?
Yeah.
I got to too.
J.D. Drew against Hector Noesi. And Jones puts it away. Now, the Yankees obviously still have a chance in the bottom of the 9th inning. But what Noesi has done is when a starter gave the Yankees an inning and 2/3, he has saved the bullpen from being completely destroyed. And, you know, you got to get credit for it. He made one mistake. Otherwise, it'd be a 4-3 game. He gave up the home run to David Ortiz, but otherwise done a nice job.
You got it, Michael. You know what? His first appearance against the Orioles, he did a similar job, was able to stay in there long enough. And that's the role. Unfortunately, for a long reliever, as Noesi is, your goal is to put up as many zeros, hope that your offense chips away, and you're in a ball game. And his only mistake was a miss on Big Papi for a 2-run homer.
To the out-of-town scoreboard as we move along. It's brought to you by Bose Video Wave, the only HD display with Bose sound built inside. There's a strike.
And Michael, to go way back to what we talked about, I just got an interesting text.
Okay.
To go way back to what we talked about earlier in the game, Roberto Clemente got his 3,000 hits on the last game, and then obviously it was in a devastating or tragic plane crash.
Yeah.
I just got a text that he got his 3,000 hit, and he played one more game, the final game after that, which surpassed Hannes Wagner for the record for the most game plays by a Pirate.
I didn't realize that.
Pretty neat, huh?
Yep. That one's popped up. Martin and A-Rod. And A-Rod makes a play in fair territory for the second out.
So he did it on the second to last day of the year?
Yeah, and by playing in the final game, he surpassed Hannes Wagner. You know what's even weirder than that? By me having something good, that was sent to me by my wife. Somebody must have told her.
Neville's a big baseball historian.
Wow, there must be nothing on for her. She's going to listen to me tonight, right?
Is she in New York with you this time?
Absolutely.
Well, last time she wasn't. That made me nervous.
First and last, huh? Made you nervous?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
I was the one that went home alone.
I didn't know if you'd be able to get to the airport. I worry about you. I like you.
Now you sound like my daughter. She thinks I'm useless.
Two away as Ellsbury is down in the count 0-2. Set the tone for the game early with a leadoff home run against Freddie Garcia, who pitched his worst game as a Yankee. An inning and 2/3 and 4 runs. Red Sox missed Ellsbury last year, a variety of injuries, missed most of the season, but that one buzzes by him.
Talking to Dave Magadan, the hitting coach for the Red Sox, is saying that the importance of Ellsbury and Pedroia in front of the 3-4-5, like any lineup, are part of the production from Adrian Gonzalez, Euclid, and Ortiz, even Crawford. Here's Magadan, good, very good left-handed hitter in his career. Of the meaning of having to get Ellsbury hot, he's been much better of late.
Talking about the pro draft and the college draft, he might be one of the better college hitters ever.
That one is lined in the gap in right center. Cutting it off on the warning track is Granderson. And Ellsbury's going for 3. The throw. Got him! Beautiful relay by the Yankees and a perfect throw to A-Rod to get Ellsbury trying to stretch it to 3. With 2 outs, not a wise base running maneuver. Granderson to Cano to A-Rod to the bottom of the 9th. Verizon, America's largest and most reliable network. McDonald's. Stop by McDonald's today for some juicy, tender chicken McNuggets. And by Jeep Grand. We don't just make SUVs, we make history. Well, Jonathan Papelbon's going to try to close it out for the Red Sox. He is their closer, and he's looking for his 200th career save. They'll face 9, 1, and 2 in the Yankee order. Those are his numbers. 30 base runners in 25 innings, 34 strikeouts in 25 innings, but a somewhat bloated ERA, 4.32. He's now down 11 saves. Now he is going to face a pinch hitter for the Yankees, Brett Gardner. Gardner, this is his 12th pinch hitting appearance in the majors, and he's 2 for 11 in the previous 11 tries. Pitch is high. Yankees need base runners. We told you earlier, Papelbon has been suspended by Major League Baseball for 3 games, but he is appealing that. An argument that he had on Saturday with home plate umpire Tony Randazzo, where he gave up 4 runs to the A's in a non-safe situation, sent the game into extra innings, but the Red Sox ended up winning the game. A lot of questions in Boston. Papelbon's a free agent at the end of the year. Do they retain him, or do they just give the job to Daniel Bard?
Tell you what, if you watch last inning, Bard has the kind of stuff to be a closer. There's no doubt about it.
A 1-1. Papelbon's throwing harder than he's thrown the last couple of years. That was 96 miles an hour.
Brett Gardner hitting better of late against Papelbon. His career 4 for 9, 444 batting average.
Flashed foul. Against the Yankees in his career, Papelbon has struggled. 43 games, 0-6 with a 4.12. So do the Yankees have a rally in their bones tonight? The 2-2. Shattered bat. Ground and foul.
I always wondered if you know as a pitcher how hard it is for a guy to be a good pinch hitter. I mean, do you know how hard it is to turn on a pitch inside? Because pinch hitting, I mean, you would go up there and pitchers with average stuff had great stuff, and pitchers that were good like Papelbon were almost unhittable off the bench. I just didn't wonder as a pitcher if you realize that.
Well, I always realized as a pinch hitter, they would hit a fastball. They're looking fastball, and more times than not, you'd see something off speed first pitch. And even though what you just said, I hear you trying to hit a fastball on the inside part of the plate while you've been watching for the last 3 hours isn't the easiest thing to do. But if there's one thing that you're geared for is a heater, especially righty on righty or lefty on lefty.
So full count. Gardner pitch hitting for Nunez. On deck is Derek Jeter. Tonight after the game, Bernie Williams. He's won 4 rings, but his father told him to go for something far bigger than baseball. The one goal Bernie's dad wanted him to achieve on the Verizon Fios game wrap-up tonight on My 9 News. So Derek Jeter with 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 4. Against right-handers this season, Papelbon has struggled. Righties hit .319 against him, lefties .208. How do you explain that, Paul?
Really, I mean,
the splitter?
Yeah, he's actually gotten in trouble with his split finger. He's got a very good split. Usually he throws it to left-handers. And fastball slider to the righty.
I mean, that's a stark difference.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have a deceptive motion like a sidearm or something that's really going to buckle righties too. He's right over the top. I mean, granted, he's got great stuff. He's a closer, but he's not going to be, hiding the ball from righties.
Derek 6 for 21 lifetime against Papelbon. 12 hits away from 3,000 with 2 tonight. 9 more games to go on this homestand. Foul the other way.
And also, too, Michael, just general rule of thumb, because it's a a safe situation. Right-handed closers basically live away on the lefty, live away on the righty. So as a right-handed hitter, if you're aware of that, and you know you're going to get a fastball away, and the breaking ball runs away, in his case a slider, you can kind of look middle away.
Count 2-1. Yankees trying to make it interesting. One more base runner means they bring the tying run to the plate. And if Jeter could get on, the tying run would be Curtis Granderson, who has 17 home runs. Now, over his last 6 appearances, Papelbon sporting an 11.81 ERA. And this is what he did against Oakland before he got thrown out by Tony Randazzo, leading to a 3-game suspension. Francona said before the game today about Papelbon, he's ineffective because he's losing command, and that means that batters could lay off the splitter because of the count. And he needs to be up 1-2 or even 2-2 to get you to fish for the ball diving out of the zone. 3-1. Laced into right field, but Drew is there for the first out.
No 3-1 count, and I know you're Derek Jeter. You feel good about yourself tonight. You're swinging the bat well, but this ball a little out of the zone. Too high to handle with a guy throwing the mid-90s.
Was that ball 4?
Yep.
You can see Jeter's body language trying to get that ball down. But Drew, a good right fielder, put it away. So Derek, unless the Yankees tie the game, will finish at 2 for 5, the first game of this 10-game homestand. And that's going to bring up Curtis Granderson. Curtis is 0 for 3 tonight with a walk and a run scored. Gardner goes, it's a strike and no throw. And that's defensive indifference. Yankees 3 runs down here in the bottom of the 9th. They've been looking up since the top of the first inning. The Red Sox jumped out to a 3-0 lead. .97 miles an hour, 0-2.
Straight challenge right there from Papelbon. Good fastball hitter. Granderson 4 for 15. 4 of those hits off of Papelbon. 2 of them were home runs.
Papelbon wants to talk with Saltalamacchia, to the dismay of the crowd.
Well, with the runner at second base, clearly Papelbon wants Saltalamacchia to be on the same page. There's nothing more frustrating than shake, shake, shake to the pitch you want. That might even been, this is what I want to do on this pitch. If there's another pitch, go to this next pitch of selection.
Checks the swing, count 1-2. And Ryan Knight confirms the check.
Three heaters busting in on the hands. Paulie, you looking fastball in, protect him?
You know what? With a guy that throws this hard, you're just trying to put the ball in play. You know, you hate to get into this position, but you got to dig in there and figure out that if you put it in play, you've got a chance. Obviously, you want to keep the ball down because up in the zone, he's tough because of his velocity.
Swung on and missed, and Granderson strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. And the Yankees are down to their final out.
He just came right at him. All 4 pitches. Got ahead, elevated in on the inner third, and then good life. 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Papelbon just coming right at Granderson.
by him.
You know, in recent years, we've seen Papelbon throw 93, 94. If he's throwing 96, 97, he doesn't have to rely on that splitter. I mean, that's plenty enough to get people out. Here's Posada, 2 for 2 with a walk after taking over for the injured Mark Teixeira. Teixeira got plunked on the right kneecap on a cutter by John Lester in the first inning. Had to be helped off. X-rays negative. They will reevaluate tomorrow. Posada against the Red Sox, 2 for 12. Against Papelbon, I'm sorry.
To me, I look at that first pitch. I mean, Jorge Posada is doing anything he can to get on. You've just blown a guy away with fastballs, and you start this guy off with a split finger in the dirt. That sometimes kind of makes you scratch your head if you're the pitching coach.
Count 1-1.
Well, you know what? The numbers that Michael just said, Posada against Papelbon, 2 for 12. You have a history, obviously 12 at-bats. There's been success. Still respects the fact that Jorge can hit a fastball.
There's a guy that throws, what, mid-60s?
And a guy that throws about 93. They'll match up tomorrow night. A.J. Burnett, Tim Wakefield.
It's Tim Wakefield, the knuckleball specialist. That's why he's in. Yeah, I think he can throw his best one about mid-60s, huh?
You guys are not that much older than him. He's 44 years old.
He's still living the life out there, just throwing knuckleballs in there. He's done a lot for this organization. If you look at him, become a starter. He was closing for a while. He's been out in the bullpen. He'll go back and forth. Doesn't make waves. Good teammate. Count here. I think you have to take a pitch here. I know as a hitter you hate to take it, but you got A-Rod on deck who's a tying run. Got to make him throw 2 strikes.
Yankees desperate for a base runner. That would bring up A-Rod as the tying run. So 3-1 on Posada. Gardner, who walked to open the inning, he's at second. 2 outs. And there's a strike. So the Yankees are down to their final strike.
Georgie's on the same page, and you hate to take that pitch. But again, you're making him throw 2 pitches. He still has to throw a strike here.
Served into left field. It's a base hit. Gardner around third. He'll score. How about Posada? Coming off the bench in the first inning, he has 3 hits. There's an RBI single, and the Yankees are still alive.
Again, nothing more than putting the ball in play here. Great piece of hitting by Jorge. Ball kind of tailing away. Stay on it. Slap it the other way. Once in a while as a player, when you're not planning on playing, you kind of relax, and all of a sudden you're put in, and before you know it, you've had 3 or 4 good at-bats because you didn't over-prepare, you didn't mentally get into the game, and you just show up and play.
May 17th of last year, Alex against Papelbon. A game-winning blow. That was game tying at the time. Chris Dickerson will pinch run for Posada. Dickerson takes off. Ball foul back.
That's 97 right there down the middle. I'm going to challenge you. I got to get ahead. I don't want to get in a position. Out of the plate still. 97 with a little movement.
4 hits against Papelbon. 2 of them home runs. 1 in the rain at Fenway Park, and the one we just showed you. Alex has good power the other way, and that's what he might want to do against Papelbon. there's a strike. Dickerson will take second on defensive indifference.
What's he looking there? 1 fastball away.
Yeah, it's just, you know, the thing is, you just fouled back a fastball, and now you're thinking, well, he does have a fork, and all of a sudden you just kind of freeze, and now you're in an emergency hack here. You know that he still has a slip finger you haven't seen. You throw the fastball up in the zone.
Red Sox a game behind the Yankees in the East. They lead 6-4. Bottom of the 9th inning, runner at second, 2 outs. The cleanup hitter, Alex Rodriguez, at the plate.
Well, this is definitely where doubt starts setting in. You got a catcher calling different signs. Papelbon shaking. Timeout.
An off-speed pitch inside 1-2.
No split finger. Backed up on him.
That was 80 miles per hour. His fastball has been as high as 97, so a 17-mile-per-hour differential. Saltalamacchia going through the signs. And the 1-2. 2-2. Cano on deck.
Well, back in that fastball count situation here. A couple heaters. Put him in the 0-2. Now he's laid off 2 splits.
And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. 97 miles an hour. And the Red Sox win 6-4. So Alex Rodriguez strikes out for the final out of the game. Yankees score 1 run on 1 hit. And 1 man left. And he challenged him, and Alex just swung through.
Good fastball. Papelbon. Couple fastballs. Alex swung at 1, took 1, and there you see the defensive swing. Good fastball from Papelbon. Good stuff tonight. Didn't throw a fastball below 95 miles an hour, right at 96, 97.
David Ortiz with a big home run, a 2-run shot, the difference in the game. The Yankees have now lost 6 of 7 to the Red Sox this season. They lose this one 6-4. There's essentially a tie now atop the AL East.